Welcome to another video review. I am Max. This is Kat. And today we have with us Chris from You Are Mopped.
What's up, everyone? Thanks, Max. Thanks for having me back. This is a pleasure.
It's awesome to have you. Yeah, it's always awesome to have you, especially because we have your evil doppelganger on the video. So
this
we
guy's
need to
trying
keep
to
him
make
in
me.
check.
Yeah. This guy in the thumbnail is trying to make me look bad against Andrew.
Hello, everyone in the chat. Basil already flipping out. Said, good to see Yerba Mate Talks is continuing to promote Christian nationalism. We've been through this. We've been through this so many times, but I'll do it one more time just for you. They promote debate, and I love debate. So that's why we deal with that. So, but it's, I don't understand how you don't get it still, that whatever James's views are irrelevant to the channel. I think the channel is a good platform. I think that they have me on. They have people of all kinds on. And I think they're pretty fair when it comes to moderation and stuff. So we have the man, the legend, the Isa.
Isa, all right.
How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you.
Isa, I've been meaning to ask. I think I haven't asked you. Are you planning on going to this debate con, or is it a little bit out of your wheelhouse?
I got a ticket. I got a ticket to go, but we'll see. I got a ticket for Sunday, so yeah,
okay,
we'll see. I'm thinking about going. Like, you know,
mobility is a little bit of a problem, right?
Yeah, it's tough.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you having on is a metric for fairness. Well, given that I'm like a filthy foreigner, communist, Latino, then yes, and an atheist. So you say it's a Christian nationalist channel, but they have a communist atheist on every once in a while. That does actually speak to, you know, fairness and a plurality of views. I still don't understand how you don't get that. Alrighty, today the topic is, let me read the title, is moral diversity. Moral diversity is a weakness, not a strength. Weird framing, and we'll see. Andrew knows like absolutely jack shit about this. Let me just say right off the start. Let's skip the advances. There we go. All righty. You're funny. I know I am. Thank you.
I want to tell you something funny, Max. I was invited to do this.
Yeah, and?
Right, you were there. That's right.
I was invited to do like the 5 liberal, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, why would I do that? Like, I'm not into these kind of like 1 on 5. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's a weird framing.
I didn't know what I was getting into when I signed up. So
it happens.
It's not what am I talking about. This is not me. This is not me.
I mean, hashtag Max to next DebateCon, and we'll get that. We'll get them eventually. I'm trying to debate La Raquel Wilson on her therapy views on feminism, but it looks like it's. I haven't heard back from her. Jim Daniels says, "Howdy, Isa. Hope you're getting well." Yes, Chris.
No, I'll say when I see her at DebateCon, I'll maybe I'll ask her on camera. Forget that. I'm pretty sure I will get to interview her after. At some point, I'll ask her about debating you.
All right. I mean, we talked on Twitter because the Raging Tomato is doing like an online sort of debate thing. And I was like, oh, I'll debate La Raquel. And she asked, but apparently she was moving in September and so on. So I need to ask again for October. We'll see. We'll see. I plan on, my plan is to debate Raquel first and then debate Andrew. Because, of course, I have some stuff to say to Raquel.
She's got a script, dude. If you read her book, that's her entire script.
Yeah. Tim Davidson for $5 says Andrew is an arrogant, misogynist twat, and I can't stand a single word that comes out of his mouth. Indeed, the problem is that he's popular, so we have to suck it up for a little bit and combat his rhetoric. But we'll see what he brings today. Historically, the times that I've heard him speak about this topic, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, like at all. And I think I can show it with what we're going to see today. Oh, shoot. Before we get into it, it is now Arial. Wait, where the hell is it? What happened? Oh, here it is. Sorry. Let me move it one moment. There we go. I'm going to put on the link. It's still not finished yet, but we have finally a Discord, and I'm putting on the invite right there. I'll pin it to the top of the side chat. We still need to finish building it. It's just bare bones now, but we have a Discord. So let's get it on. You can come along, and with the Discord, we can organize some other community stuff like watching movies, those old movies that Isa always recommends us. We can do movie nights of those and so on. So I'm pretty excited. Specs been a member for 3 months. Wilson won't be bringing much. I haven't seen it yet. And Lauren, conservatives have had a Republican president and a Republican majority in all 3 branches of government for 8 months. None of them are anywhere close to being happy. At what point will they be? Never? That's a very interesting thought. Thank you. Tim Davidson for $5. He's popular. He's popular like a fart in an elevator. Everyone knows about it, but no one enjoys it. All right. Let's get it on. Let me move this out of the way.
My name is Andrew Wilson, host of The Crucible, popular entertainment channel on YouTube. And today I'm going to be debating 5 different people on 5 different topics for 5 minutes. My next topic is moral diversity is a weakness, not a strength.
So when you're saying moral diversity is not a strength, are you, I'm assuming, referring to, is this like tied into the nation state as far as like if there's a predominant ideology or ethic system?
It's not a strength for anybody, whether it's a nation or not a nation.
Okay.
So having a divergence in ethics between people or a divergence in morals between people only brings conflict. It doesn't bring any sort of strength whatsoever.
Okay. So, I mean, I'll just agree, but like what's, because
I'll just agree. You can say that.
This might have been before the producer just kind of huddled us up and said, "There's too much agreeing going on, guys."
Yeah,
which is why. Yeah, so
that's been the problem I've had with debates on modern day debates. Like, you're agreeing too much, and I'm like, but I do. Like, I can't just say I disagree when I agree. Like, then I'd be lying. You know, I'm like, I'll try to engage on different points, but if I agree with someone, like James is like, you need to disagree with Matt Dillahunty, and I'm like, but if his principles are in alignment, I just can't disagree. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, it would be. We are honest about the show, I think. So that doesn't make, for this particular thing, it doesn't make it. But I mean, what you have to do is just make sure you have people who actively disagree. I would have crashed Andrew out of his own event in this situation, in this framing, because Andrew, he's saying that everyone should have my morality. He wants to be the ultimate arbiter of what morality is, and he's wrong almost on every freaking topic. about the framing, about what it does, about like every topic is just wrong. So he says this because right now the U.S. allows him to be the predominant morality, based on popularity. The majority of the people agree with his morality, but he would literally lose his mind if he came to Uruguay, where they are the minority and no one cares what people like Andrew actually say. No one cares, right? No one goes down the religious fundamentalist route. I had never came across. I had never come across anyone with religious fundamentalism until I started to speak with people from the US. They're just not really a thing here. So he would be, even if I granted him his argument, he would be extremely unhappy if it was us who were determining the actual morality of a country, like it happens here. So, I mean,
this
it's a
particular
double-edged sword. Go
I'm
ahead,
sorry,
sorry.
Max. No. This particular topic is not. I don't think it's not that controversial. You could agree or disagree. I technically disagree, but it's not like I have like really strong opinion about this particular statement. Like I disagree, but it's not like I'm gonna fight. I don't know. Like I said just before we went live, I haven't seen this since I was a participant, so I don't know what I'm about to say. Well, coming up, but yeah, I don't know. This particular topic he chose, in my opinion, it's not that divisive. So I guess we're starting out slow. Again, I think this is probably before the producer said, "Hey, be more controversial."
The problem is that when Andrew gets his way regarding the morality topic, let's just give an example of abortion. When Andrew gets his way, people die, people get hurt, and bad stuff happens. And the other people have to suck it up. When it's inverted, the people like Andrew still have the freedom of not doing abortions, which they do. I mean, the ban on abortions disproportionately affects lower income people, because rich people still can bribe doctors of a higher caliber to actually perform illegal abortions, and they still get them done in a relatively safe manner, but poor people don't. And that was exactly the reason why we instituted the legalization of abortion, is that we were having on average one woman die from back alley abortions per week, right? And in a country like ours, that is a lot of women dying.
Yeah.
Yes. And also, I mean, that the fetus dies, the woman dies. So now, if you care about birth rate, which is mostly his biggest argument when it comes to abortion, is like, okay, now you have a woman with a very functioning oven that is no longer able to make you babies. So it even defeats you in your own argument.
Right.
So the people can get abortions. Those people are happy. If you don't want to get abortions, they're not mandatory. You can just choose not to have it. But they still do get those abortions because they're hypocrites. And that happens with pretty much, you substitute anything, substitute drugs. Don't want to do drugs? Don't do them. No one is forcing you. The people that want to smoke marijuana, for example, they can do it in a safe manner, like pretty much like everything else, like alcohol. Why does he have a problem with that? Well, I mean, the alcoholic obviously doesn't have a problem with alcohol, but he technically doesn't understand that weed is an alcohol. Tetrahydrocannabinol, the OL suffix in chemistry literally means alcohol. So weed is an alcohol. But because it doesn't come in a bottle, he doesn't like it. And moreover, in a creationist paradigm, I don't understand how people would want to make God's creation illegal for some reason. If you follow the creationist paradigm, God created the plant and created our brain to be receptive to the compounds of that plant for some reason, right? Bees, for example, don't have the receptors. So bees can make actually weed honey without experiencing the effects. It just goes right through them. So they lose. Every which way they lose. It's funny as hell. And I never seen anyone kind of push back on that.
The time restraints, like what's like, I guess, the meat of what you're getting at? Like what's...
So it's probably not a good idea for nations or people like this to import people groups that don't share their same values.
Okay. And
of course, the immigrants, of course. I don't like the immigrants. Did you see MDD's debate yesterday, Chris?
Which one?
It was the other Andrew, Andrew Dragon Fist Martial Arts
No.
against FTFE. The topic was, is
Oh.
America the best country in the world?
Okay, so excuse me. I'm glad you brought that up. I want to watch your reaction to it, but I'm like scared to because I know that FTFE is arguing the counterpoint.
Yeah.
And I'm American, so I'm like, I'm gonna watch it. I just haven't watched it yet, but I'm a little bit hesitant.
I mean, Craig did what is fair, did fair criticism of the U.S.
I bet. Yeah, I'm sure.
So we did kind of for this one, because there was supposed to be a debate on a Friday and it got canceled. We decided to do our new show, Pimp My Argument. So we covered what the best arguments for both sides would be, and we kind of pretty much predicted how the debate was going to go, except some minor differences. We predicted how it was going to go. And I told Craig, leave FTFE at home. And he actually took the advice and he did very well. I think it's a good. He wasn't just bashing America. He was doing basically fair criticism that I think even most reasonable Americans would agree that, yeah, the homelessness problem is a big one. Especially when you're the richest country in the world, right?
Correct.
The gun violence problem is a big one. Discrimination. And then Andrew had the possibility of talking about how the U.S. has diversity, how the U.S. has freedom, how there's freedom of religion. But Andrew doesn't value any of that. So he was limiting himself in what arguments he could make. So the only things that he could say was economics, like, yeah, we have a lot of money, sure. And then everyone wants to come here. That was his argument. Like, everyone wants to come to the US, which over the last year or so has changed like dramatically. And that was about it. It was interesting, and it wasn't as big of a dumpster fire as it could have been.
Oh, that's good to hear. It's in my watch later playlist. Your review of the debate is in my watch. It's at the top of my watch later playlist, so I will see it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Craig got a little bit upset, but that's understandable. I think the guy was super boring, and he really offered nothing. Like, I felt it was just a bunch of platitudes that our gentleman Dragon Fist brought. He did not bring a Dragon Fist to this tournament. This was not a, what do they call it? What's that movie? Bloodsport. This was not Kumite. There was no Kumite here.
Yeah.
Dude, Craig FTFE had the worst first experience in the United States I could ever imagine. Like, he came in the wintertime to Newark, New Jersey. And then he went to a local Wendy's, which was a huge mistake. I wish he would have asked me about what are you doing? Like, don't do that. And then he didn't, he was 25 minutes from New York City. He didn't go. And so I don't know. And then he's you're in a Holiday Inn, a cheap hotel. I don't know. It's
right.
I think he had I can't wait he's going to get a completely different experience in Nashville.
Right.
So
weed is not legal there. So that's kind of
right. That's a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
Right. It's something. Just because it's not legal doesn't mean people don't smoke all the time. It just means it's not going to be sold on the street corner.
Right. But I mean, it kind of makes a difference that you can just take a stroll through the city, just having a smoke.
Yeah. True.
That America specifically is a bit of a we brought in a lot of
it's a big weakness that you have people who have different values than the set core values for America, which I would argue would be Christian ethics.
Oh my God, here we go. Number one, There is no Christian ethics, you stupid moron. Your morality comes from the Jews. It's actually Jewish ethics. But to the point that no one practices it anymore because it talks about stoning people for dumb shit like adultery. So no, this idea that Christian ethics exist is just wrong, Andrew.
It's modified beyond recognition, almost.
Yeah. So he wants to claim objective, and it doesn't. You can't claim objective because definitionally, if you want to claim that morality comes from the mind of God, that means it is definitionally subjective. There is no way around it.
I just want to say
that's number one.
To Bruce Wayne in the chat. Sorry, Max. Yeah, in New Jersey, I know there are dispensaries. So there are different levels of legality. Some states you need a doctor's prescription in order to buy marijuana, and other states you're just allowed to buy it by walking off the street, and in other states it's not allowed whatsoever. So yeah, for Jersey, I'm not sure. I don't know. I think in Jersey you're allowed to buy it even without a doctor's prescription, but I could be wrong.
So that's number one. So if it's not objective morality, then what is it? It's what it's known as divine command theory. Whatever God does is good. The problem with that is that that forces you to have to justify the murder of innocent babies because God doesn't murder. But in the story of the flood, God killed everyone but 8 people on the planet. So being conservative, let's say 2 million people were out and about at that time, there had to at least have been one innocent person. It's statistically impossible that there wasn't one innocent person. So God did commit murder. And then it brings you to have to also justify slavery. In Deuteronomy 22, that if a man sexually assaults a woman, he has to buy the woman from her father for 50 coins. So now that woman has to spend the rest of her life, and he's also never allowed to divorce her. And now that woman has to spend the rest of, number one, she was bought as property, like if you go into a store and you break a vase and you bought it, right? So she was bought up as property by her abuser, who can never divorce her. So what kind of morality is that? That is just primitive nonsense from people who didn't know better.
Iron Age morality, yeah.
Yeah, that is just messed up. So he's wrong on like 3 accounts so far on one statement. And of course, I mean, the US is a secular country when it comes to the ruling. So the morality that rules is not the Christian one. It's secular because you have a lot of people from all kinds of places. This is...
Okay. But I mean, and I don't want to assume, but I feel like I've heard you mention before that America is one of like the leading countries against a lot of European countries. A lot of what we do is right. And so I'm trying to figure out, like,
what do you mean a lot of what we do is right?
Well, I mean, it would depend on the situation, right? But yeah. I don't know your position on America, like where you think we stand on the hierarchy against like the European nations.
We're the most powerful nation in the world. That has to do with the fact that we're isolated for resources and we don't have any enemies on our borders, which
this guy's Christian also, by the way.
Okay. Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's
like, yeah, we're the best because we're the most powerful. Like, might doesn't make right, you moron. That's why I say Andrew is a fucking stupid person. And no one, like, everyone tells me, like, no, he's very smart. Like, no, he's an idiot. It's like, Andrew, what you're basically saying is, oh, yeah, we could invade any country we wanted at any time. So you're telling me you're the best because you have the biggest capacity to be the worst. Make that make sense somehow. That's wild.
So the thing is again, even in Europe, this is a big problem, They have the same problem with what they call Asians that they're bringing in, which are Muslims, not having the same shared ethical value as the population which is there. It's a total weakness.
Okay, so let me dial this back.
Oh, Isa, I feel your pain right now.
Yeah.
What do you do in those cases? You try to assimilate those people to your culture. It's not that big of a deal, because a lot of the Muslims that go to Europe, they're not the fundamentalist kind. They're more liberal Muslims.
Well, it's funny, like that conversation I had with Tyler. Do you remember that? Like Tyler
Yeah.
took on a very intense view where he kind of, I don't know, he kind of viewed Muslims like as monsters. Like that's kind of, I don't know if were you picking up the same thing too, but it was like that these strange, they're like the hordes, like where they said, the barbaric hordes at the gates that are trying to destroy civil society. I don't know if that's the right way to look at it. People do
Yeah.
have different cultures, they have different heritages. But I think it's like you're seeing humans as being universally different from each other, like our rationality, our logic. I don't think that's true. I do think
No.
people have different mentalities, and that's okay, but that doesn't mean we're like, it's like you're trying to say that these people are intrinsically different than you. And that's kind of scary. It sounds fascist. It
It does.
sounds like Nazi. This is like how Jewish people are viewed. It's like you are not like us. You can't be a German. I'm like, most of these people, a lot of German Jews fought in World War One. They had their own Jewish culture, but they were Germans too. You can be like, I'm a multiracial, multi-ethnic person. I can be multiple identities at the same time. It's not hard for me to do it. I live it, the experience every day. So
Right.
Isa,
Every once in a while you hear is like, oh yeah, I'm at a Rosh Hashanah celebration, or he fasted all the Ramadan, and like we were here all for it. Like, yeah, you can practice more than one culture at a time. It's not a problem.
I'm an atheist. I literally have friends that go to church every Sunday, and I have Muslim friends, and I just would have to say that we have way, way, way more in common than the things we don't have in common. Like people just tend to focus on the thing that we disagree on, but we would agree on like 99% of
Right.
of issues, and then there's maybe 1% that people like to focus on. That's my
Right.
experience. Agree to or
But
disagree. But
what he really wants, what this prompt is about, is that he wants complete hegemony of his own brand of Christianity, which is derp Christianity, because of course Andrew has no fucking clue what he's talking about. So
it's weird that he's like pro freedom, but then he wants everyone to follow the rules of his religion.
double speak.
Yeah,
that's what he does. He double speaks a lot, and we will see later. I'm pretty sure, because I know where this shit is going. TCM says, we are so powerful, and I made this point yesterday. Thank you so much for bringing it up. We are so powerful. We stayed in a war with people in caves and AK-47s for over 20 years and completely destabilized the Middle East. Going after Saddam in Iraq was a big mistake. I agree. Lisa says it's called theocracy. Yeah, I know. Thank you.
Main point. Are you saying that we should continue to keep the countries all segmented, just like let all the Muslims live over here, Christians all live over here, and just sort of like let them duke it out as they will? Or because you mentioned earlier how like
no, I'm saying that bringing in people groups, right, to communities.
Fuck's sake. Why is it that they always talk about bringing in like it was an orchestrated effort to bring people in, rather than people just moving countries because they're in search for opportunity, because they're escaping war, political persecution, because they're escaping the cartels or whatever? I don't understand why they always talk about that. It reminds me like when flat earthers talk about vision, like if human eyes tossed out vision rays, right? It's that kind of framing. It's the opposite framing to what it really is. Whodunit says, don't disparage the AK. It's a fantastic weapon. Yeah, but comparing an AK to a full kitted M4 from like the US Army, apples and oranges, you know?
Or to nations which don't have the same shared ethical foundations as those nations, going to lead to conflict. That's what I'm saying.
Right. And as we mentioned earlier, though, like I think you kind of seem to allude that like conflict is a pretty natural progression on these things if it's all arbitrary. And so
yeah, but if you want to reduce conflict, then you probably don't want to bring in people who don't share your ethical foundations.
But these people exist, right? So I guess, are you proposing? Well, what's your take on immigration then? Like, what do you think an immigration system should look like?
I think that we should probably stop the immigration system altogether. Unless.
Oh my God.
He wants to pull up the ladder.
Stop immigration altogether. What the fuck are you talking about? So you're locked into your country, no matter what you do, no matter what, nothing. Everyone locked into their country. Just stay there and don't move. How are you going to deal with tourism then? And people overstaying a tourist visa? Dude, this makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. Eric E says, on my street, there are Islamic, Indian, Spanish families. We all get along. What is the problem? I agree.
Yeah, Eric, where are you from? Where do you live? Let us know in chat.
For the purpose of work, and instead promote our birth rate increasing through various forms of government.
Promoting birth rate increases while also defunding in vitro fertilization. Just another example of how these people are complete idiots. Southern Cali. Ooh. That's nice. That is nice.
I had a feeling he would say California or New York. Yeah.
Yeah, those cities are, and if you want to go to Chinatown or to Little Haiti or Little Havana or I don't remember what the one is called for the Dominican Republic, but those kind of neighborhoods, they bring a lot of variety, of diversity, of food, of culture, of clothing. I love that. Absolutely. Uruguay doesn't even have a Chinatown, and that is, it's sad. There's, I think, 2 Chinese restaurants in my whole city. But for example, right now we're getting a bunch of waves of migrants from the rest of South America. So you will now see Venezuelan food and Peruvian food, and I think a couple of Indian or a couple of restaurants that do Indian, because we're getting a lot of offshoring from Indian companies to Uruguay, because we have a highly technical population that can also somewhat speak English. So we have Tata Consultancy Services has offices here, a bunch of them, and they bring a lot of Indian people to supervise and train. So of course that gives rise to Indian restaurants, right? So, or at the very least, Indian food restaurants that provide Indian food to cater to that public, because of course, if you ask someone who's from India, they say that our food isn't spicy enough, right? Because we don't have the same spice palette as they do, and they like very spicy, very, very, very savory food. So that increases the variety and the diversity for everyone else. So if you want to try, you can try. If you like it, awesome, and you got more variety. If not, you just continue eating McDonald's if you want.
The weirdest thing is that I can guarantee that Andrew would claim that the United States is the best country in the world, but at the same time, it's also the most diverse country in the world. So those, and now he's arguing against diversity. So I just those things
Yes.
don't add up.
Yeah,
should have
that's
been-
what happened with the other Andrew on the FTFE debate.
Oh,
The diversity of the US is one of the strongest points that
absolutely.
they're
I mean,
welcoming, and
it's not a
they
coincidence.
allow
Yeah.
they allow people to integrate to the baseline American culture, but to still keep on their customs and their clothing and everything intact. So, I mean, it's not like Andrew says, it's not black or white. You can have a wide gamut of grays in the middle,
Yeah.
50 shades of gray.
And I would argue where I live in New York City is the best city in the world. I suppose I haven't been everywhere, but I'll say a lot of people would say that. And it's also the most diverse city in the world. It's definitely better than wherever Andrew's from. I guarantee that.
Yeah. My bro CK is here. What's up, bro? Humbly salute you.
What you would call propaganda, but what I would call rhetoric.
I know this isn't exactly what you're saying, but I'm sure you can see how this sounds similar to like superior race breeding. Like, you know, well, I mean, you're saying like less.
Great point, guy. Great point. Very nice. Call him out and like really nail him down on that.
Not bring in outsiders, right? Let's just continue to grow a population of
like
this
Japan. Japan doesn't bring in outsiders. Are you saying they think that they're a superior race?
No, not necessarily,
right.
But well, maybe I actually have no idea. But
no, they don't. It has nothing to do with racial supremacy.
But it's
you're lying, Andrew. You do think that you're superior. Don't bullshit me. No freaking way.
Japan necessarily, and I don't actually know, but like, are they anti-outside groups?
Yes, they don't allow immigration except for the purpose of work. Very rarely.
Okay, and China. How would we say Japan is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but there are exceptions.
Right. I mean, that is true about Japan. I mean, but again, United States,
they don't have an open door. But I know Westerners that live in Japan.
Oh yeah, I think you can get a work visa or something.
You can get work visas and you can get permanent residences. The problem is that they're a bit more strict when it comes to laws. And they are, in general, a little bit more conservative.
I just don't see that as a superior society. Like China also doesn't allow, you can't immigrate to China as a white person. But I wouldn't argue that China is a superior society. I would argue that the United States is a superior society. So I don't get his argument here about Japan.
Mm-hmm. And it's not. I don't think it's about racial matters. I think it's about they are already overpopulated. They have a problem with the new generations and not getting too many children. They have an aging society, so eventually they will have to force to face the music and say like, okay, either we change something culturally, or we need to start allowing people to move here because we need babies.
Yeah.
Right.
Nation, right? I mean, don't they have like the highest suicide rate of any nation?
It's due to honor culture, and by the way, our suicide rate's quite high. And not only that, just to point this out, there's very low crime in Japan. Very, very low. Safety standards are very, very high.
Oh my fucking cat! What? He just lies. Yes, there is somewhat lower petty crime, but they do have the freaking Yakuza. World Mafia, renowned. World Mafia, extremely violent. Does everything from drugs to human trafficking. What the fuck is he on about? Why does he speak if he doesn't know?
I don't think this has anything to do with what he's arguing, because I don't think most crimes in the United States are committed by immigrants.
Right?
I mean, I could be wrong, but the most dangerous neighborhoods just happen to be low income neighborhoods and not necessarily immigrate.
In general, people whose legal people whose legal status depends on them not doing crime because if you do crime, you can get your citizenship or your green card or whatever legal status you have revoked. Those people don't go around doing crime. It's just not. CK for $9.99 says, "Love you, bro. I humbly love you too." CK is the best. Wait, Bruce Wayne had asked me something. Go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, I was responding to who done it. Immigrants are the least likely to commit crimes in the U.S. I don't know if they're the least likely, but I'm just my point. My point was that their highest crime areas happen to be low income areas, not
right.
That I wouldn't say that immigrants are the least likely to commit crimes. I don't know if that's true or not. I wouldn't argue either way, but I think that's people who say that don't know the truth. But it's an income thing. It's a low income areas are the most violent. At least
yeah. But if you're remaining in the US is contingent of not doing crime, of not getting caught doing crime, then why would you go? I mean, we're talking about people that moved to the US for a better chance at life. And those people had to buy tickets, go to the US, try to establish as a business or go to work. So, I mean, those people generally don't do most of the crime. It's just not. And Whodunit said, "I watch a lot of Jovan Bradley, and it's a point he uses quite a bit, so I'm appealing to his research." Yep.
High. But the country seems to be doing very, very well
in a lot of ways, right? But I don't think any one system works in every situation, right? So Japan, for example, they have a lot of issues with their honor system. What if you bring in outside groups that maybe don't adopt some sort of honor system?
Yeah,
right?
But the problem is if you take away the thing that gives them their cultural cohesion, like let's say the honor system in this case, and you try to replace it with other things, you begin to destroy the culture itself. That breeds.
It's for fuck's sake. It's not destroying, it's assimilating, and you don't need to destroy it. You just need to change it. This guy thinks that Japan lives in Edo period era and that they haven't modernized one bit. That is just crazy. We don't live in feudal Japan. Japan doesn't live in feudal Japan anymore. Oh my, everything is wrong about this guy.
Animosity between traditionalists and reformers. This is a big problem, and all it does is lead to conflict every time.
I guess where I would disagree is if we're not, you can certainly argue it's eliminating certain cultures, but I think that this is more of like a breeding of cultures, right? I mean, this is how all of human history has evolved, is different groups admittedly having conflicts and then arising at some sort of new culture.
Well, then
right?
by this logic, why don't we all just kill each other until the dominant
Oh my fucking cat. That
dude, not for nothing, but this guy debating Andrew, I forget his name. I think he's consistently done the best job.
Yeah, he's done pretty well.
Yeah.
But Andrew, why are you taking the exact opposite? He goes from, why don't we assimilate each other's culture? We can keep some traditions, but we arrive at the healthy middle ground. And then Andrew is like, yeah, let's all kill each other. Andrew is fucking retarded. I'll just say it. The alcoholism is eating into your brain, you stupid fuck. Oh my God. Why do we even care what a fucking alcoholic moron says? I don't understand. What is the US doing? How is it that everyone listens to this raging alcoholic? I don't get it. I honestly don't get it.
Culture is the prevailing one.
Well, I think part of what we learned as a culture is that violence isn't the best way to move forward.
So then reducing it by not bringing people in who have different ethical standards than you seems like a good idea.
False dichotomy, because you can reduce it by understanding, by dialogue, by exchange, by appreciating the value and the historicity of different cultures. all the wrong ideas this guy has. All of them. All of them. Holy shit.
I mean, but like, does it necessarily have to be violent? I can agree that it does happen violently, but if we can conceive
what if the other
ways,
culture is we will be violent if you don't conform to our system?
well, maybe we don't let those people in.
Yeah,
But
maybe we don't let those
But I
people
don't
in.
think that. Oh, all right. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, no problem.
Howdy.
Hey.
All right. So we don't need to get into like epistemology and everything, but we're
No, yeah, go into epistemology. See how Andrew knows jack shit about that.
Oh wow, that's Indian Jesus.
Indian Jesus, yeah.
I saw him there. Wow, that's so funny. Can you go back just a second? Why did the guy leave? I'm sorry, I was just off the other
Because
screen.
time was over.
Got it. So it's just short periods of time. It's not like the red
it's
flags or anything.
5
It's
minutes.
not like
Yeah.
Jubilee.
No, it's not that. It's not that weird. It's still weird because 5 minutes is a very long time. Lisa is right. He always does the absurdist, absolutist argument. Yeah, because I mean, he has 2 neurons. That's why he can only think of 2 choices.
I want to ask you all a question, if you don't mind, to
go for it.
To field it with atheist folks here. So I went on a Christian TikTok channel, and I get along pretty well with Christian TikTokers, but it was strange. I recently went on. It was a couple days ago, Thursday, I think, last Thursday, and I went on, and or last Friday, and I went on, and they're like, well, are you, what do you think about Islam? And I'm like, well, I defend Islam. That's a position I take. I defend Islam existing, right? The guy then goes and he makes this, like, I don't know, I found it to be insane, but he was like, well, what about if a person does 75% good, but 25% of the time they're at home and they're having relations with a child? And I get what the argument is. He's trying to say that you could have a good Muslim person that's really ethical and moral, but they may do this really unethical thing with sleeping with a child. Would you call the police or not? And I was like, this is an extremist case. Honestly, yeah, maybe you might call the police, but I was thinking this person might need some psychological help. If someone is doing something like that, that's the kind of way I think. I don't think immediately punishment, but it's weird that I feel that some of these Christians are very involved with like punitive measures. And I'm like, your text doesn't promote this position that you take. It actually says that we shouldn't be looking in punitive measures because we're all bad people. The concept that I understand from Christianity is we're all sinners, right? So how can one sinner condemn another sinner? It's just weird. I'm like, it seems like you're imposing your American or your so-called Western culture onto your Christianity, because I don't think Christianity as a tradition is really, it gives the power of condemnation, because the position is if we're all sinners and we're all flawed people, how does one sinner condemn another sinner?
Yeah.
It's hard. It's a very hard thing for me to understand. But he came and he started screaming at me and yelling at me, and then he kicked me off the panel when I was like, he's like, do you think that if the book teaches someone to do this? And I'm like, I don't think books teach anyone to do these things. I think books are neutral. I think it's the person's own inner darkness that manifests. It's not the book. The book may give legitimacy through their interpretation, but I think all of these scriptures are neutral. I don't think they're just inherently ethically good or moral. That's my position studying book literature and studying religion most of my life. And I just found it weird.
Well,
I would have clapped. You're not. If you want to go, Chris, first go. I'll say
okay.
after.
Sure. I think it's pretty clear you need to report that to the police, not to punish the person who has an issue, but to protect future victims of that person.
Yeah, and I would agree. I actually did say that. I do understand that point of like I wouldn't be doing it as a punishment. I would be doing it as a protection for children.
Yeah.
And I would say that it's important that moving forward, that person needs psychological help and probably needs to not be near children. Like, I think that's the ethical position. But for him, it's like this person is an evil, like they're like this tainted evil person because they did this one thing. And I'm like, it just seems like it's weird when I was engaging with these folks because they're like, they don't have empathy or compassion. Like they seem to be
Right.
devoid of these things. Like they
Yeah.
seem to just be like, I want to make people good or bad. You're either good or you're bad. And if you're bad, I condemn you and I make you like I vilify you. And I'm like, that's not what your teaching teaches. Like as an outsider, I'm like, that's not what your text says. It sounds like something that you want, that you want to hurt people. Like I think there's something really a dark undercurrent of these people. They want to hurt people. They want to punish people. They want to view people as lesser than themselves. And that bothers me. I don't know. Am I wrong or like as a sounding
No,
board?
you're absolutely correct. You don't typically oh my God, sorry. You don't typically do stuff like this, but I would have immediately clapped back with something like, "Oh, you're talking about Catholic priests, right? You're talking about the glaring problems of how those people hide in the church, correct? Because they will criticize and they will call everyone in Islam a PDF file, but the moment you turn it back on them, they start making excuses. So it's not really a problem of the action itself, because when the church starts shuffling around priests to keep them away from facing repercussions of the actions they committed, they don't really see a problem with that. And I've never seen a march of in the Vatican, stop protecting these horrible people, right?
It's insane because it's directly leading to more victims.
Exactly.
It's directly creating more victims.
So and like you said, this idea of don't judge, let ye be judged, goes out the window. Empathy goes out the window, and so on. They are a little bit sadistic in that because someone did something extremely horrible, they get pleasure in seeing them suffer. So it's very sadistic, like from my point of view.
Guys, I'm going to step away for 1 minute, but carry on.
You got it.
But I don't think that. Oh, all right. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, no problem.
Howdy.
Hey.
All right. So we don't need to get into like epistemology and everything, but can you just give me a working definition of what you mean by moral diversity?
You mean, yeah. So we're talking about moral values. We would just be talking about the grounding foundation that tells you what you ought to do or ought not to do in the sense of conformity to the society. So that's what I would mean by moral foundations.
Yeah. And I mean, the moral foundations right now are post-enlightenment. Because, Andrew, I will repeat it again for like the 1,000th time. We don't stone people anymore. That's what your Christian ethics says that you should do. And Andrew, by the definition of your own Christian ethics, you are an adulterer. So you should be maybe punished in the way that the Bible prescribes that you should be punished for the crime that you committed, which is adultery. Right? So...
Could you tell me more about that? What exactly happened?
He's divorced.
Yeah.
He's divorced and remarried.
Oh,
so he's an adulterer, definitionally.
Yeah, I don't know his private life. Did his wife cheat, or they just like...
I have no idea, but definitionally, marriage is between a man and a woman forever until death do us apart. Mm-hmm. There is no getting out, right? So he's married again, adultery. Simple as that. I mean, he wants to claim Christian ethics. I'm just holding him to Christian ethics directly from the book. You know?
Structures, foundations.
So you're saying that having multiple ways of saying this is right.
They're both cheaters, says TCM. He divorced his first wife because he got Rachel pregnant.
How do you know that?
Allegedly.
That's really shocking.
I mean, Yeah, we are public people. If you're fucking around, I mean, people find out. It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult.
Or this is wrong is not beneficial.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to lead to conflict.
Sorry, but we agree again. The problem that I'm going to have as an atheist is that I don't believe you have the justification to say that your moral structure is automatically superior. So
ISA TCM says court documents are public record. So yeah, if there was
it mentions that. That's really salacious information.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you're filing for divorce, you have to say why. So yeah, public. I mean, yeah, you can probably find that.
That's heavy.
Indian Jesus has almost has hair as nice as mine. That's funny.
It looks like there's a guest in your background, brother.
Yeah, my wife's hanging out in the background. Is my golden retriever. If you saw the tail wag.
Yes. We love the animals when they come. They usually improve any show.
Such that we don't have to.
Wait.
Secular aspects.
Sure, I'll just use the same justification you have. Force.
That is not the justification, you stupid fucker! No! That is the enforcement. Why does anyone listen to this retarded moron? Let me change the mood for just 1 second. Look! He's awake! Hello, say hello to
no
everyone.
way.
Yes.
Is he from the pet store or from the creek?
No. My father bought him 25 years ago or more. They used to sell them in like a street market. I've had him for 25 years. Yes.
Oh my goodness!
Wow, he's an adult. He is a grown man. I thought he was a baby. That's a grown man right there.
Wow.
Yes. It's he's been with me through thick and thin.
Are you like, okay, then if you're just willing to kill everybody who doesn't agree with you?
No, it's not kill everybody who doesn't agree with you. It's just to
So
say that
force
I don't have to let you into
what?
my society, and I can use force to keep you out of it.
You personally?
Or what if I was in charge of the society, or as a person who's participating in the society for what I advocate for?
But you're not in charge of society. So what do you?
So what does that have to do with anything? I'm talking.
You just said you wouldn't.
I'm a
let if you were,
participator.
so I'm trying to understand.
I'm a participator in my society. Yeah.
Right.
I have some
As
limited. I have some
Christian.
limited amount of political authority. Right. Very limited, but it is there. Right. And so I can advocate.
So you're talking about voting.
Well, in this system, it would be voting, or it would be rhetoric to sway people, things like this. But what I would try to sway people against is letting people in who have foundational differences in values.
So then how do we determine, and fair enough, again, I agree, but I don't think that there is such a thing as a one true north of morality. So how do you then get there? I mean,
the same way every culture gets there, same way Japan got there. So you're saying that the Japanese their way of morality is not actually correct, right? Because there is no correct way.
I'm not super familiar with Japanese culture, but they seem to be doing pretty well.
They seem to be doing pretty well. How did they decide that though?
Again, not super familiar with Japan. Yeah.
How do you decide who's doing well? Well, you look at the numbers, you moron. And Japan is doing really well in some aspects. It's doing really bad in some others.
Well, you made a good point. The Yakuza are there. Like, it's not just this paradise of homogeneity. And also they have a lot of different other cultures there. And also Japan suffered from World War II. Like, we're forgetting that Japan was on the cruise of taking over all the East Asian countries. That was their goal, and thank goodness they failed. But a part of the reaction is from World War II, from the sheer devastation that they caused. Dr. J and I talked about this, but I still disagree with Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I think they were wrong. I think that this was an amoral situation because civilian people suffered the consequences for kind of a bad government. And I don't think, I wouldn't want the United States to be attacked because we had governance that wasn't so good. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
don't think the retaliation from Pearl Harbor was correct, in my opinion. And killing innocent civilians is not correct. So I think collective punishment is wrong. That's my ethical position. So I just find it weird that you said, well, there's a few people who don't want to obey, like they're not following your kind of societal norms. Does that mean now we ban people? Like I think there's this weird thing about assimilation. Assimilating to what? What exactly are we assimilating to? Do we have to be identical to you? We have to have the same religion as you? Is that what assimilation is? Or like
Yeah.
I don't think it's a healthy term. It sounds like invasion of the body snatchers type language. It's like really freaky. Like I'm really uncomfortable when I hear that language. Like it really sounds like Third Reich. Like it's another level of like creep factor to me. It's like a horror movie. It's not like, hey, yeah, we're a multicultural pot. We have different views. What I think the right value for modernity is that we can all have different views, but we can't impose our views on other people. We got to stay in our lane. We
Uh-huh.
can talk, we can speak, but we can't physically impose our things. We can't use the government to impose laws to hurt people who don't have the same stuff as us. But we can, but but as long as we're not bothering other people, what's the problem? Like that's what I'm not understanding.
I think I am more inclined when it comes to was the US justified in dropping the bombs on Japan? I'm more inclined to the no than the yes, because it was in response. Japan at that time had an emperor, so it was the emperor that was forcing the situation on the people. And those
I
bombs
agree.
killed mostly civilians. So it wasn't even an attack, an attempted attack of, okay, let's kill the emperor, which would have been fine in a war situation where you kill the leader. That's okay, generally in war, but not attacking the population. So yeah,
That's my
I'm
big
more
problem.
inclined to that side than. But I do see the argument that that caused the war to like be over very quickly, right? And also, it was sort of a retribution, even though I don't think retribution is something you should aspire to, right?
I
Um,
agree.
Victoria says Japan still has an emperor. Yeah, but it's like Spain. They're just cosmetic.
Hey Max, can I
But
respond? I want to respond to a couple of people in chat real
you
quick.
got it.
I
Tell me
said,
who, and I'll put up the message.
so the name is what question mark, and they said I would
Uh,
feel safer in Japan than in New York.
oh no, that's TCM.
Oh yeah, and that was the other person I wanted to respond to. So it's interesting that they say that because, well, I am from New York City. My sister-in-law, who's from Brooklyn, just got back from Japan, so I'm interested to see. She went to Tokyo, I believe.
Uh-huh.
I wish she was here. I could ask her, but and then TCM said I'd feel safer in Afghanistan than New York. LOL, dude. New York is extremely safe. Of course, it depends on the neighborhood, but
Yeah.
there'd be no problem for my beautiful wife to go outside and go for a nice walk right now. And it's like 9 o'clock at night. Like New York, for the most part, is an extremely safe city, and I think it gets a bad rap.
Well, we're next door neighbors. I'm in Philly.
You're in Philly, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so and it depends on the part of town, right? I mean, of course, there are some bad neighborhoods you'd want to steer
I
clear of,
agree.
but no, dude, New York. Yeah, I would assume the same goes for Japan. I haven't been there. That's why I brought up my sister-in-law. But New York in
I mean,
general,
yeah, Japan is safe for the most part.
right? But so it's
Except
New York.
if you go, I don't know, to a Yakuza section, you will see them by the pool in a suit, because it's illegal in Japan to show your tattoos because the Yakuza are such a big problem. I have a friend that lives there, and he sent me, I can probably find it right now. Give me just one moment. He sent me a picture that the gyms have signs in when you go in that you cannot show your tattoos. They sell you stuff like very dark pantyhoses for your arms, because I couldn't walk around going like this in Japan, right? Or go to a gym or a bathhouse or whatever Give me 1 second. Here we go.
Yeah, NetTube user. You're right. Extremely is a very strong word, but I would say it's very safe in
Oh, boy.
general, depending on the neighborhood. Naturally, like anywhere else.
He didn't show it to me on our chat. He showed it to me on a server, so I probably can find it. But it shouldn't be too hard to Google. I'll do that right now. Japan prohibited to sign. And there we go. One moment. There we go. You see that?
Oh, wow.
Why is this a thing? It's not because the Yakuza are not a problem at all, right? I mean, it's absolutely not. And you will see them, by the pool, and they can't take off their suit because they wear a full body tattoo that they cover with a suit.
Crazy.
I mean, Japan is ridiculously safe for the most part, except for the fact that they have one of the strongest mafias in the world.
Well, they decided it because as a people group, they said our foundations that we have here,
the question was,
we like a lot.
How do you determine the true north of your moral authority, whether it's God?
He doesn't. He has no fucking idea. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I think I've demonstrated that every time. He definitionally has no idea what he's talking about. I've lived there, Max. Okay. But I mean, what I said, was it wrong? Like, yeah, I didn't say it wasn't safe. I said, yeah, it's safe, but there's also this big problem of the Yakuza, which is organized crime, which, to be fair, that problem is kind of almost everywhere, because in Eastern Europe you have the Camorra, in Italy you have, the actual mafia, in Mexico it's the cartels, down all over South America there's also the narco groups. I'm not especially bashing that. That is just organized crime is pretty much everywhere. I'm just trying to be, honest and give the nuance of the situation. Like where I live, it's pretty safe. Go 10 blocks that way or that way, and it's a lot less safe very quickly.
Or Christian ethics, whatever. How do you, if we're getting into that, that's your claim. Yeah. You need to verify that. I understand you believe
verify that. What? What's my claim?
That Christian ethics are the truth north of morality.
No, that's your claim.
I just asked you that.
What's my claim? My claim is that bringing people in who have a diverse foundation from the people group that you have, which is moral, will create conflict. That's my actual claim.
Right.
Oh my God, but conflict doesn't, in 2025, conflict doesn't have to be a violent revolt. Conflict in a civilized world, like my little tiny third world country, you resolve the conflict at the polls and with debates and with giving information and educating and convincing people. That's how we resolve conflict. But little caveman doesn't register that you can talk about stuff, right?
And I said I agree with that. So
did you call him little caveman?
There's no.
Huh?
Dude, did you say little caveman?
Yes. Knuckle dragger. Yeah, that's what I call him. I don't have any sympathy for this alcoholic dumbass.
That's funny.
Moving beyond to now, I'm going to change the claim.
Cool. We can say, I mean, the sky is blue. We can just say things that are true.
So it is true.
Yes.
Okay. So then wouldn't you want to mitigate that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I guess we agree that we shouldn't bring in people who have different moral foundations.
Why? I think that we should just kick you out, Andrew. I think we should deport you to Madagascar because you have an imaginary friend in the sky, and in my country I would be able to do that because we're the majority. What now, Andrew? What now? He has no idea. The only reason he holds this position is because they are the majority in the US and nothing else. He's just he's just a bandwagoner, but he would change his rhetoric very quickly if he wasn't in the position that he's in right now. I'm pretty sure of that.
You're specifically talking about immigration.
Sure, immigration. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then I think.
But I feel like you feel like you did a thing.
What thing?
That like, oh, I have this base thing that we should have our morality together. We should all believe the same thing. Like, that's what most people believe. No.
You just said that you don't believe that.
I didn't. I said it's true that the diversity of morality is.
I would like to analyze Andrew's DNA to see if he is 100% white from the modern world of America. I mean, just look at him.
I said it's.
And look at me. I'm whiter, so I don't know, Andrew. I might have to kick you out of my country.
I think Andrew is actually Irish.
Irish, yeah.
Yeah, he comes from an Irish background. And I mean, the Irish people were not viewed well here. Like the Jews, the Irish, the Italians, not too well here.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would love to do that. The guy that I debated the other day, and I didn't really want to go there because I noticed that most of his audience was black. But the guy said like 2 or 3 times, like, you're white, I'm black. And I was like, oh, I'm technically I'm Latino, but why are we even talking about colors of skin? Right? Like, why is it such a thing in the US? What color you are? Like,
we're
seriously.
Obsessed. We're like really obsessed. I actually had a
conversation. I don't get it.
I had an interesting conversation about this, honestly speaking, about this type of colorism. I said ancient people didn't even have this. This comes from the product of the enslavement of human beings. So, like, if you take Hannibal of Carthage, was Hannibal of Carthage black? I don't know. Who cares?
No.
Like, most of these people were from nation states. Like, even if we look at the New Testament, it's an interesting text. It doesn't say Jesus is white or black, or Moses is white or black. It says Jesus is from Nazareth. He's a Nazarene. So he comes from a certain region. So ancient people were from regions that their phenotypical things didn't matter like that, And it's like this obsession with race, it's super unhealthy. I'm like, black and white are made up. There's no such thing as black or white. If you're white, then you're like a vampire. Like, that's not a good thing. If your skin is white, you maybe you have some like anemia, you have some kind of deficiency, you got some problem if you're actually white. People who are called white are not white. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is white. They have like, like if you get a box of crayons, it's like beige or, you know what I mean? Peach.
I don't know.
It might be some color of that.
I'm almost there. I'm not pinkish.
Yeah, this will make Isa's point. You could see my white mug against my.
Yeah, you see that? Look at this. This is white here. This is white. You don't want to be looking like this. And then when I think of black, I think of like Mr. Popo from Dragon Ball. Like, I'm like, this is not, nobody's black, okay? It's not going to be good for your skin if your skin color is that.
Right?
Well, I have Latina friends that are just as pale as me.
I'm Latino and I'm freaking Casper.
Yeah, you're whiter than me.
So it's ridiculous. The obsession with race it's an unhealthy illness. It's an unhealthy illness.
I was having this debate with this guy on Thursday this week, and he kept saying, like, he said it a couple of times, and I wanted to focus on the debate because I know that it's not. But like, dude, I'm Latino. I told you that I'm from Uruguay, that I speak Spanish, and you keep saying I'm white. I said, yeah, I know how I look, but look at where I'm born. Look,
and like, how dare you tell me who I am? Like, who are
Yeah,
you to tell me what my culture, what my ethnicity? Well, how arrogant are you? How about if I tell you what you are and say, you know what? You said you're African American. Well, you're partially Native American. You're partially Irish. You say that I'm mixed, that I'm white. Well, I say I'm mixed, and I say you're mixed too. I can make claims and say, and it's not false. African American people are primarily mixed. They are partially Native American. They are partially European, and you can look at their
yeah,
DNA. That is how. And somebody was, I'm black. I'm like, okay, if you want to believe that, if that helps you sleep at night, I'm going to respect you and support you. But I
right,
mean, you're not living in truth. I'm sorry. You're a multicultural, multi ethnic person. And there's nothing wrong with being multicultural. But like this
no,
obsession of purity, obsession with race, I'm like, it's the reverse of white supremacy. It's like, well, I'm a pure black person. I'm like, no, that's just
right,
not true. It's false, and it's tragic that you are so enslaved by this racial doctrine that you're buying
right.
into it too. It's it's
And
it's
you're
your it's a mental virus.
and you're looking at me and you're seeing a white man, which I'm not. I'm like, dude, I'm Latino. I shake my booty. I wear flip flops. I don't go to the beach because I don't like it, but my country has beach from coast to coast. It's so weird.
Who are
And
you?
I wish I wish I could have a chat with him about specifically that, because I did feel attacked when he unprompted said, "Well, you're white and I'm black." And I was like,
And
what
what does
does
that
that
have to do
have
with
to do with
anything?
anything?
Well, what it is it's a dishonest tactic, and it's a racist tactic. It's like, because you have a certain kind of phenotypical structure, I get to now judge and tell you what your. And this is where conservatives, I think, are right. When there's a problem with things like in critical race theory, like I work in DEI,
Yeah.
that the leftist extremist is just as bad as the right extremist. They're
Yes.
equally toxic, where they're like, you have to say the proper pronouns. I'm like, I'm going to say them because I want to respect the person, but I'm not saying it because you're telling me what to do. You're not going to dictate and tell me how I'm supposed to live my life. And then, like the conservative person will be like, well, you can't, you know, I have my religious right. You can't dare say anything about that. Like you have people, you have these extremes, and neither of them are unhealthy. Or like, no, the abortion one is a better one, where it's like, I can tell you about how to live your life, and if you have an abortion, I can throw you in jail. Like they're extremely fascist positions, controlling people's lives, and I think it's dangerous. I think it's really
Yeah.
dangerous, personally.
In any coming, like, extremism is pretty much always dangerous. Jeff said, "What did you debate?" Well, I debated. I honestly don't know, because I tried to go to the Bible. We spent 3 hours. He just went in a giant circle, like lying about me, made those comments about me being white. But I'll give you a link and you can watch it. It's a bizarre argument, like completely bizarre. I'm trying to get in touch with Leo, our friend, because it was one of those hyper philosophical definitions of God, and basically he was just changing definitions of words and harping on when it's like, oh, you said this thing. It's like, oh, you said you own your body, not you are your body. It's like, dude, it's a colloquialism. Get the fuck out of my case. Yeah, it's a bizarre debate. Like, seriously, one of the weirdest I've ever had. And
Well,
whodunit defines it. He was a newbie Phil bro. Exactly. He tried to make like a quantum argument and then extrapolate it to the macro world. I told him like a bunch of times, you can't do that. I told him a bunch of times. Yeah, he did like a questionnaire on me and told me, no, but this is your argument. And then kept forgetting intentionally that I added that if you ask me if this is my argument, then my argument would include here and now, because that's where I am. I am here and now. I'm in a physical and temporal location. You can't get around that. And then he shared, like, it's nonsense. Just, if you like that kind of stuff, watch it. I think I kicked his ass because by the end, I got him to say a bunch of times that humans don't have brains, because at least he was consistent in that he kind of kept his line of reasoning throughout the whole thing, but it got him to the absurdity of denying like a basic biological facts that humans have brains. That's it. That was kind of the end of it. All right, let's keep it going.
True that that the diversity of morality is not as beneficial as if there were a true north. If I believed in a true north of morality, I would say yes, we should all follow
Yeah,
that.
so if
true
all
north.
so if all
you're
people
saying there is a
believe,
true north.
no,
So-
you're making
I asked you
listen,
specifically.
bro, I'm going to
So
tell you.
let me ask you again.
I'm going to tell you.
Bro, you lost the debate right there. Grown ass man saying bro in the middle of a debate. No one should listen to you. Ever.
I'm afraid how many times
So
I'm
that
about
you know.
to say bro.
Indian Jesus is putting the feet in the fire.
Yeah. Bring the heat. Bringing that spicy chicken tikka masala. Love that.
Oh, when you're talking about this, all that would matter is that the belief was shared, not that it was true.
Okay.
Yeah.
But fair.
Yeah.
Would it be better if the belief were true and shared?
I don't know if it would be better.
Oh my fucking cat. Of course the truth is the best. The truth is always the best, Andrew. What are you talking about? Holy shit. Yeah, Lisa's correct. He prefers a shared delusion than the truth. So basically a flat earther. Good job, Andrew. Good job. He's a sighing.
I mean, it's hard. Like when he's like, "There's this great moral, ethical thing," and I'm like, so my family were Jews that lived in Europe, right? My mom's family. We lived under oppression. We lived under pogroms. We were murdered and killed. So I kind of said I wanted to learn about European history. I thought it became a very important thing for me to learn about. So I'm like, why did this happen? Why was my family killed? Why did they flee to America? I needed to know this because like my family really didn't talk about these things because there was a lot of trauma, a lot of intergenerational trauma. So you don't talk about it and you act like it didn't happen. So I kind of learned this stuff on my own. And then I was like, well, why did this happen? And then I started looking into European culture, and the European Christian culture was so horrendous. It was so vile. It was so disgusting. I'm like, these people just went and murdered each other. And I was looking particularly at the Third Crusade. Like Richard the Lionhearted didn't take back Jerusalem. Take back, I don't know how people own the land. This is such a weird thing like that I hear from Christian supremacists. They're like, you own land. I'm like, did you not read where Jesus said, give your cloak if someone wants it? I'm like, you don't have that right to say that. You just that's your construction. You made that up. And you're in direct violation of your master. So I don't understand it. But the thing that blew my mind was I'm like, these people fought and killed each other. Christians did. Like when you read Alexander Dumas' book on like the Three Musketeers, you see that these people, it's very clear that these people were murdering and killing each other. So I'm like, your moral value, it's not going to happen. Even if the whole America was a bunch of Christian factions, these people would slaughter and murder each other. We've already seen it happen. So I'm like, that's why America happened, which is weird that Dragon Fist doesn't even know this, but I'm like, it was because of Christian infighting and people calling other people heretics that a bunch of European people fled. They're refugees that fled from religious persecution. That's why United States was started. And a lot of people just like, I'm like, do you not know that? That's the reason why it happened. It didn't happen because Christianity is great, wonderful, and good. It happened because, you had Christian powers that called other Christians heretics and forced them out by violence to flee to the United States. That's why the Puritans and the Pilgrims and all these people came. They didn't come from love, manifest destiny, love, and kumbaya. They came to escape religious oppression. So it blows my mind that he thinks this works.
I read a book, I think, and there is also a museum, the Museum of Torture. Christians in the Middle Ages were inventing amazing ways. You know where the term quarantine comes from? It comes from the Quaresma, which was a method of torture that was thought out to last 40 days with the victim dying at day 40. And it included everything from tearing up fingernails to the draining of the eyes. And finally, when they got bored of 40 days of torture, they just killed you. So, I mean, What is there holy in that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I don't know, bro. And I looked into the Salem witch trials where they were trying to steal people's property by calling them witches, and this is religious persecution, inquisitions. It's so many things, and I'm like, Brother Wilson, how are you thinking this even is going to work? Like, you have this weird ideal that you think Christian supremacy is going to work. We know in practice, like, when people mock secular humanists for their worldview that, oh, no one's tested it, so how can it work? You're just making it's a pie in the sky dream, and you have these weird manifestos. I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. You can mock secular humanism. It didn't work. I'd rather go with that method that didn't work and try to see if that works, as opposed to a method that we've seen that works, and it works in a horrible, vile way where many people die and are persecuted. If I have to choose a method that has not been tested and a method that has been tested and horrible results occur, I'm going to go with the method that doesn't have the horrible results connected,
Yeah, this fantasy that a Christian rule would be great for everyone is just such a lie. Such a lie.
Well,
there's all sorts of beliefs that you could believe that may not be better than others, but I can guarantee you, if you bring in beliefs that are not shared, it's going to lead to conflict.
If you don't know that your morality is the true north,
that's not what. Wait, nobody said that. What I said was this: just because you believe in a thing doesn't mean it's better than another thing. That's my statement. So that's true. Yeah. Just because you believe in a thing doesn't mean it's better than something else.
What I'm getting to is, suppose there is an ideology that works better for society, gets us closer to God than Christianity. How do you know that doesn't exist?
I'm not making the claim that I know that exists or doesn't exist.
Then are you saying Christianity is what we should be following instead of searching for that?
Where did I say that?
Is that not your position?
What's my position? Tell me my position.
The diversity of morality is not good.
Okay, so the word Christian, where was that? Where was that? Anywhere?
This is the same thing with your last one. You're just saying things that are like kind
of. I do like
except you. Indian Jesus didn't make a mistake here. Indian Jesus made a mistake. So Indian Jesus had to set that up. He didn't set it up. He should have said, so you think that this morality doesn't work, right? Like, you think that we need to have, you think that diversity of thought doesn't work. Well, what is the correct view? He needed to open that up, and he did it. He just assumed it and granted it, and he shouldn't have done that. That's what allowed Andrew to get that position. He should have asked that question. He's like, well, what is the ethical standard? What is the ethical moral position that everyone should have in the United States, and who should be the people that are not coming in? And he didn't do that. He didn't explore that. So,
Chris says, keep ahead 5 minutes now.
Please.
No, let's go. So that we evaluate this, so that next time you're in the same position, if they grab you to do another one of this, you have better ammo.
I don't know.
We're going to help you, bro. We're going to make sure that you get all the right things. Because, of course, this is you had no idea what kind of thing you're going into. So let's see. We're going to have fun here.
Okay. All right. Don't judge me too hard.
We're supporting you, brother.
I'm being insufferable half on purpose.
Sometimes.
So is diversity of opinion a bad thing?
Sometimes.
How so?
The opinion is moving against the foundational beliefs of a people group. I think that they would think the opinion was a bad thing.
Can you give an example?
Yeah, let's say you have a country of Muslims and you say, I don't think Muhammad's a prophet.
Right.
That's an opinion, right?
Right. No, so
do you think that would create
diversity
conflict?
of opinion is a good thing at that point? Do you think it's bad?
Yeah, I think they would see it as being bad. So let's separate a couple ideas. Whether I would see it personally as bad or not really has nothing to do with the claim of they would, right? And so therefore, if you have a foundational belief structure for a society and you bring people in who in any way are contrary to that belief structure, it's going to necessarily create conflict. So it should be
conflict is not always a bad thing. Because again, like I said before, it's 2025. We can resolve our differences by talking. Andrew, You don't have to roll up the tanks every time you disagree with someone.
I want to give one point. I love this opening. This is what I think Indian Jesus missed. What you are doing, you're doing this great thing where you're like, what are your positions? Let me lay out the map before I engage. I need to know what you think about these things before I engage with them. I'm not granting anything. I'm not assuming anything. That's exactly what I wanted to see with Indian Jesus. He needed to do that as well. Because that was where Andrew got him, where he's like, I didn't say any of these things. And it was true. He didn't say these things. We know that he believes these things, but you can't grant them. You have to let him spell it out, you know?
Yep.
That's a good tip. Yeah, that's a good tip.
The framing is important. Shifty, what's up?
Avoid it if you want to avoid conflict.
Why do we necessarily need to avoid conflict? Because
Great
conflict
question.
resolution leads to the best outcome.
Then,
so why is conflict?
Then why
necessarily
shouldn't we
a bad
just
thing?
be in perpetual conflict then?
No, it shouldn't be in perpetual conflict.
I thought it just led to the best outcome.
So
Oh my God, the absurd. Again, this is Andrew just displaying that he has two neurons, one for white and one for black, and nothing else. I mean, having conflict and acknowledging that conflict can lead to a better result doesn't mean that you should be perpetually in conflict. Ideally, if you have a conflict of ideas and you resolve it, then the conflict would stop. Oh my, he has two options: go and stop. Nothing else. Nothing in between.
then why shouldn't we just follow the rule of law based on the Bible and not have conflict? Doesn't conflict go with? Do you believe in evolution?
What does that do with
What the
anything?
fuck?
I'll get there.
Sorry to curse. Sorry.
Okay, let's say I do.
Yes or no?
It's okay. You can. You don't have to apologize for cursing here.
Okay. I think where I'm going
Yes,
with this
you
is
do.
something around natural selection leading to the best outcome.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Sure. Let's say I do.
Honestly,
No, but let's say I do.
okay. So things evolve.
Why should anyone listen to you when you can't even acknowledge a basic scientific fact that humans evolved? You dummy, complete dumbass. I would challenge Andrew to an IQ test.
Just
Yeah.
like people have evolved.
Yeah.
So beliefs and rules of law evolve.
Yeah.
Morality evolves.
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
Let's say sure.
What do
I
you
think
mean,
it's-
what do you mean? Let's say sure.
Because
Yes or no, dude?
regardless of what I believe, the outcome of this conversation will be the same.
Why are you
Okay,
pretending to
we'll
believe?
try it the other way then.
Yes or no?
Here's my actual position. No, I don't believe in evolution.
Literally.
Literally.
How old is the Earth?
Who cares?
I'm asking.
I'm being confrontational because that's what they told us to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good. And I think that with these dummies, it is important to frame that they have no connection to reality whatsoever.
I think that's part of what I'm doing, Max. Yeah, trying to say,
that's
oh,
perfect.
this guy doesn't believe in evolution. This guy doesn't believe the Earth is 4.5 billion years old.
Yeah.
I'm trying to discredit him in that sense, not because that's a good argument against his argument, but just because they told us to be confrontational.
Well, the thing that I would say is interesting about that line of questioning is it allows us to kind of explore what ethics are. How are ethics developed? Do we think that the ethics are created from biblical ethics, which clearly actually does have evolution? Biblical ethics have evolution. If you're a Christian, you have to take that position because in the beginning, if you believe in the narrative literally, and some people do, about Adam and Eve, well, incest was okay. They reproduced by incest.
Yep.
Cain, that was the whole conflict with Cain and Abel, is that Cain wanted to marry his own sister. Like they're all sisters and brothers, but he wanted to marry his identical sister, right? But the thing was that Cain had to marry Abel, the identical sister of Abel. But like the point is that incest was okay. It was legitimate, right? Polygamy was legitimate, but you don't believe in these things anymore. So your ethics has to evolve. You can make, rationalizations for that, but you do believe in evolution. You believe in ethical evolution.
Yeah.
Let me respond to a couple of people in chat real quick. Someone asked, I should have asked, Lisa should have asked him if the earth is flat. I don't think Andrew's a flat earther, but that's a fair question. Also, Shifty. Yeah. Do I live anywhere around New York? I do. I live in Staten Island, which is just across the bridge from Newark.
Yeah.
And I got him rattled. TCM. Yeah, maybe. Thank you. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. When he starts getting like that, it's because he's right. He knows that. That's why he's not answering your questions. It's because he knows that his beliefs are completely stupid.
Do you mind if I ask a question? I've noticed this our viewer seems to bring up weird things that don't have to do with the conversation, like over and over again. Like this is like a meticulous, like this is a chronic thing. It's this viewer named What. They love to bring up Islam. We're not talking about Islam. We're talking about this particular situation. And it's also not really accurate. Many different cultures did that. It wasn't Islam. You know, Israelites didn't have a problem with this. Many different people did these types of things. So, like when you say Islam, it's like it just seems weird. This person seems like they have a real problem with it. Like, and it's like a Tourette's. Like they can't stop themselves. Like they have to say it. They have to say it every time. I want to say something condemnatory about Islam, even when there's no context. There's literally no context about talking about Islam. We didn't bring that up. Only Andrew brought it up, where he brought up the point where he's like, if you're in a Muslim country, is it okay not to have diversity? I actually disagree. I think you should have diversity regardless. People should be challenged. I'm a big free speech activist. I think people should be challenged. And I think people should not, like, I have no problem with that woman who had the, Allah is a lesbian shirt. I'm like, good, get challenged. If your faith is strong, this is not going to hurt you. But if you're weak in your faith, then you're going to collapse. But, like in different cultures, people do marry their cousins. Many different cultures do this. It's not Islam. So it's that.
Let me do a little asterisk here, just for what? There are 16 states in the U.S. in which it is legal to marry your cousin. Alabama, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, New Mexico, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Vermont, and Virginia. So what do we do now?
And I think this is a grift, because What does this because I think What is attacking me, because What is trying to say I'm this. It is an attack against me, because it's like, why are you bringing up Islam? Because you're trying to challenge me on this position. I'm not saying I agree with that. I was just, what I was giving was an objective academic point of view for this position of ethics for Andrew. It had nothing to do with Islam. So no, it was irrelevant and had nothing to do with it. It seems like you're just making an attack, and you do it a lot. Like it's a little bit strange. It's weird. It's like Rachel Zegler. Weird. Like it's a very weird thing that I've been noticing. This is not the first time. This is like the 10th time, probably more. But I've been letting it go. But it's weird.
I mean, the U.S. also allows cousin marriage in 16 states, so there's not much we can say about that, I would assume. And a lot of people in history, I mean, it was a thing for the longest time because it had to do mostly with keeping families. It comes from the royals and the feudal societies, where marriage was just a way to consolidate power. So, I mean, yeah, does it hurt our modern sensibilities? Yes, but to a point that 16 states, which is not an insignificant percentage, still allow that in the US today. So I don't think it's a Muslim problem. There's also many other cultures that still do 100%. That.
It's not about Islam. It's about people in different cultures do different things. This is like what an objective person states. If you want to critique certain things that you see, okay, that's fine. But you might see this in multiple cultures. It's not an Islam problem. It's just an issue that you see in many different cultures. And it's about consolidating power. What you said is correct, Max. It's about perpetuating particular lineages that you want to perpetuate. And it doesn't matter if you're Arab, if you're South Asian, if you're of European ancestry, if you're Hispanic. if people want to consolidate power, that's the most effective way. That's why the Habsburgs, you see a lot of they have a lot of what are those called?
Inbreeding, and they
yeah, there's
have
a lot of those
the
traits, like
Habsburg
the
jaw. Yeah.
Hemophilia. They had a lot of these issues because they wanted to keep everything inside the family. And if you look at a lot of the European kingdoms, a lot of them actually just kept intermarrying among themselves. Whoever does this, I'm not saying this is a good practice. It's just so weird when people like that's what LaBelle did too. Remember that? Where I was critiquing the thing about Aztecs, where I was like, we keep talking about blood sacrifice about these people, and I'm like, we should contextualize that a lot of people did really horrible things. If you think that this is a horrible thing where they did a human sacrifice, I'm like, a lot of these, conquistadors did a lot of human sacrifice too in a different way, but they did human sacrifice. And she was like, look at the Islam is so bad. I'm like, honey bun, first of all, I wasn't critiquing you. I was just trying to show that we need to have empathy and understanding that we shouldn't demonize these group of people by contextualizing a large group of people that are probably a majority of the audience to understand, hey, we shouldn't just judge these people. We have these types of things. I'm like, do you think I accept and agree with what these other people did? No. I don't care if you wear a turban and you do human rights violations. You're not going to be, you get elevated because you have the turban. You're still a crook too. You know what I mean?
Or if you're wearing a Dolce & Gabbana suit and you're doing the same thing, like we still have the same criticism towards either.
All of them. I don't care what your outfit is. I don't care what your name is. You don't get special privileges because you're from a different kind of religious or non-religious background. And I think that was the problem for LaBelle. She couldn't handle that. Because she's like, she believed in European supremacy. And then when I brought the Jew card, she couldn't handle it. Because I'm like, you guys killed a lot of Jews. Your ancestors were probably a part of the Nazi party and they killed a lot of people. She's like, well, how dare you bring that up? I'm like, because you try to bring the Muslim card against me, I'm going to bring the Jew card against you. So you're in trouble, honey bun. You're not going to win with that. You want to throw the Muslim card?
We're all for going like basketball, like, put your hands up and admit that you committed the foul. And we're not, if you do that, we're not going to hold you responsible for what your ancestors did. If you acknowledge that, we may have fucked up on that one. And what kind of really gets me is that they talk about the human sacrifice, but the people that got sacrificed in the Aztecs, you had to win a game of that. It's similar to basketball with a really a solid rubber ball that they had to get through the hoop, and the person that got sacrificed was the one that won the tournament, right? And they saw it as an honor. So what's the difference? Like, that's their culture. Do we think that is appalling because of our modern sensibilities? Sure. But it was an honor the same way that dying for your country is an honor in the US today. What's the difference between going to fight a war for your country and offer yourself voluntarily as a human sacrifice? When you boil it down, there is no difference whatsoever.
I'm with you 100%, bro. And I think that's my problem. I'm like, there's a lot of complexities and nuances in all of these cultures and all of these religions. And this absolutist take is just, it's just so grotesque,
Max, let me respond to a couple of positive comments. If that's
you got it? Yeah.
So someone said mopped cleans up well. This was filmed back in February, and I've lost a little bit of weight since then. So thank you for that. Someone also said, Shifty Eyes Shady, Hudson Valley, beautiful this time of year. I'm very familiar. And Lisa says, I follow some foodie channels in New York City. The food diversity looks freaking amazing. Oh, yeah. So if you have access, you're 100% right. I'm very fortunate. I love the food here. And then TCM hat tip for pushing back on him. Appreciate that. I'm trying. Thank you. There's still 3 minutes to go. So no, it's not.
To show everyone that we're not misogynistic, give us a little turn. Give us a little turn, a little model turn, like a catwalk turn. Come on. Would you look at that? Woo-hoo-hoo for the Matera ladies. Thank you. You see? We're not misogynistic at all. That was for you, CK, bro.
Yeah, I'm asking you to stay on topic.
Are you ashamed to answer the question?
No. Are you ashamed to stay on the topic?
It's relevant.
Tell me how.
Because if you don't believe that the Earth is 4.5 billion years old.
Yeah.
Do you not?
What does that have to do with anything?
Oh my God, dude. All right. So you are just denying the evolution of people, of the earth, of ideas, and you're just stuck on one belief system.
So,
what do you mean so?
So what? What does that have to do with my claim?
What's your claim?
My claim is that if you bring people in, if you have a foundational morality for your society, bring people in who don't have the same foundations, necessarily going to create conflicts. So it's a bad idea.
Why is conflict bad? Evolution, right? Don't you think that
Because
conflict?
Second time you ask the question, he's probably not going to answer it.
Well, I wanted to say one thing.
We're debating right now.
I don't blame you for this at all, because they do put pressure on you to have conflict, like as a person who's done this. And I don't like that either. I think that kind of pressure doesn't allow you to have like the best kind of conversation. And the one thing I would have led with this, because I know it's like you're in the spot, like you're thinking, you're like, oh my gosh, how do I transition from this? I would say, well, if you think that this is not true, then what happens is, how do we have ethics in science? Like that would be the kind of thing that I would say is like, a lot of our kind of things we develop through scientific methodology, and you're rejecting kind of fundamental elements of science. So do we want dark ages? Because we've seen what Christian dark ages do, where they destroy science. They don't know about how to do sanitization. Like there's a lot of flaws with cultures that reject science, and we see how America is a culture that has flourished because of scientific inquiry and the development of technology and the development of sanitation and food. And we live better than kings did. We live better than the nobility did from years ago. So that would have been it. But I totally get why you're kind of like, oh my God, what do I do with this? Like, I'm trying to do what they're asking. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. You're juggling multiple balls at the same time. That's the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah, that's a tremendous response you just outlined. But I don't know. I wasn't.
You're in the moment.
Prepared.
It's super hard. You're in the moment. That's why we're here. We're here to help pimp the argument.
Yeah. Thanks.
I do think that holding his feet to the fire on these questions is very important, because these people are dummies and everyone should know that they're dummies. Like him, Rimjob, and the Jake, the Australian dumbass, all of them, they're dumb.
Jake the snake.
Jake
the snake.
Yeah, I probably would call him Jake the Wombat, because he's dumb as fuck.
Do you not believe that? So you believe in debate?
Sure.
Yeah. And don't you believe that the best argument should win?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure you can win a debate.
So I don't know.
That's where you're wrong, because we believe that the one that makes the best argument should win. He believes that you should do everything in your power to railroad and to actually avoid the debate whenever you have no chance of winning. That's what he does. That's what he teaches in his derpy course.
I actually like my point. I think the best point I made out of all these videos is that he believes in debate. He wants to participate in debates, but debate is, the whole result is the best argument wins, which is the whole point of diversity of morality.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't know where it goes from here in the last 2 minutes, but I actually like.
He doesn't believe in that. His course is how to win every rhetorical battle or some shit like that. It's just teaching dishonest tactics and how to ask very stupid, very hypothetically, very one-sided, and very very tendentious hypotheticals that are framed in such a way that it makes your position look ridiculous. That's exactly what Rimjob did with me in the whole debate. Repeated the same question over and over. Even though I had completely addressed my objections, he refused to change the question and just repeated it over and over for an hour and a half until I said, yeah, I'm done. Because I told him, well, when I was talking about the French Revolution, when the people were starving and they basically deposed the monarchy, and he was just like, oh yeah, like the Nazis fell with the Jews. And I was like, are you serious? I'm not if you're using that, it's like there's no point in talking to you. If you're defending the Nazis, that's it. I'm done. Absolutely horrible debate. I hated every moment of it.
And I think an important point is brought up. It's not about you winning. It's about presenting better points to help enlighten the situation. And I think the problem is his position is that he's winning. It's his goal is that I win as a higher, more moral character than my opponent. It's the same methodology Daniel Hakikachu uses too. It's that you are a more immoral person. I am the more moral person. Because I will discredit you, I will mock you, I will make you look like the most terrible person ever, the most illogical person. You're a piece of crap, right? Like that's the kind of tactic he uses. You're a piece of crap, so you lose because you're a piece of crap. Your ideas are stupid, you're stupid, and I don't actually have to defend myself. I don't have to make myself look good.
How many times have we seen them completely not defend their position, not even give their position, just on the attack, and then assume that because they can attack your position, that their position is correct, but they cannot defend their position one bit.
Well, and I saw Daniel Hakikachu do that very well because I asked the question. I said, "Can you steel man your opponent's position?" And he couldn't do it.
No, he can't. Yep, that happens a lot.
How you could support a debate format, and think that so debate is what you're arguing against the whole premise of debate.
So if you weren't here, would I be debating with you?
No.
So if you were somewhere else other than here, I wouldn't be debating. Stop. If you were somewhere else other than here, I would not be debating with you, right?
Correct.
So then there wouldn't be any conflict?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh my God, the conflict would still be there because the disagreement is still there. What the debate facilitates is a way to talk about the issues and resolve them potentially. The problem is that you're dumb, Andrew, and no matter what anyone says, we could pelt you in the face with all of the evidence that the Earth is 4.5 billion years old, and you would still go like, no, because you're dumb. You're not a smart person, Andrew. Your only advantage is that you're somewhat charismatic to dumb people. Then that's it. But you know who also was charismatic to people? Yeah, Hitler. Sir Wolf says, okay. Oh, forehead.
Pizza and Lounge Lizard.
Where would that get?
Senan has amazing pizza. Some of the best pizza in the city, by the way.
There was a debate recently between Rimjob and an English scientist or some credentials like that. He really made Rimjob look dumb. Yes, I know. I watched it 10 minutes, and that was the day Red was debating Flatsoil, and I watched it 10 minutes, and I told Lisa, yeah, no, I'm out. That this debate sucks, and I watched just 10 minutes of it.
Yes.
I would go about my day. Fine.
Why are you even here at DebateCon?
Well, here, unfortunately, you're a participant in my society.
It's not your society, dumbass. It's everyone's society. He's an American just as much as yourself. Stupid fuck. And why is Andrew there? Grifting. That's why he's there. I doubt he believes half of the things that he says. Honestly.
Definitely not to the. Well, definitely is a strong word, but I think not to the extent that he acts.
Yeah.
In his debates.
Even though, if you really ask me, you know how he says that women shouldn't vote? Yeah. I think that the only reason this man is not a wife beater is because he wouldn't last 2 seconds in jail.
Well, that's true.
But change the laws, he would be smacking women around if he could.
Right. It says, like, does he believe that women shouldn't be able to vote? I think he would. Yes. In reality, he probably thinks that only he should be able to vote. So yeah. I guess that is true.
Yeah, because he's a narcissistic fuckface that he thinks that he's the smartest one around. But no, he's just another dumbass. And Rachel, if I could speak to Rachel, I will ask her, do you think that your husband would not smack you around if it wasn't a law? If he didn't know that he would absolutely get railroaded in prison? I don't know. I don't even have a doubt that he would be smacking you around.
Okay. Yeah, his character, let's be careful, Max. I think his character that he.
I stand by what I said.
You stand by what you said. That's fine.
Yeah.
He's presenting a character that might do that, but after meeting him in person, I wouldn't classify or suspect that he's a wife beater.
I think that the only thing he's missing is the tank top.
What does that even mean?
It means that necessarily, because we have different foundational belief structures, there's conflict.
No, but you're here at DebateCon, right?
Yeah.
So you believe in debate. You believe in the promotion of superior ideas, right? So
well, not necessarily superior ideas. No.
You believe in the two ideas confronting each other, right?
Okay,
Which is what you're arguing against in this particular topic.
No, I'm not. I'm not arguing about whether or not ideas can non-violently be resolved through debate.
I'm not promoting violence, of course, but
yeah, what do you think conflict leads to?
Fuckface. Like, dude, what do you think that this is? The medieval ages? No, we can talk. We can negotiate. We can both come to an agreement and both cede a little bit of ground so that we can both get largely what we want and make some concessions in order to avoid violence. Right?
Yeah, I don't know if this is a non sequitur or a straw man or a little bit of both, but saying that conflict leads to violence is just not necessarily true, and it's not really the premise of his argument anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Debate,
violence.
No.
What happens when debate fails?
What do you mean?
What happens when debate fails?
What's that? What's the point?
The point is that if people come into your nation who have different foundational beliefs than you do, okay, then your nation.
Andrew, what if those people are from your nation and still think differently than you do? What do you do then? Like, for example, with Chris right there. Huh? What do we do, Andrew? I don't
talk it out. We talk it out, Andrew.
Yeah, we talk it out. And we vote. There's a democratic process, right? And then you suck it up for 4 years. And if you want to make a change, you campaign harder. You refine your arguments. You convince people. That's the modern way. Exactly. But no, this dummy is stuck in
it's the foundation. Ireland. It's the foundation of America. It's what the United States was founded on.
But he doesn't want the foundation of America. He wants theocratic Russia. That's what he wants. He wants to make being gay illegal based on his religion. He wants the power to dominate over other heretical Christians according to his derpy interpretation of the Bible. That's what he wants. He wants a king and a ruler because he thinks in his stupid mind that he will be that king and that ruler. No, you won't. Because when they come for the alcoholics like you, they will put you in a gulag and throw away the key.
I think he wants to
be the ruling class. That's it.
I think he wants to live in the Saudi Arabia, but instead of Islam, it'd be Christianity.
Yeah, that's what Russia is today.
Yeah,
it's a theocratic Christian society. Yep, Lisa, that's exactly. Yeah, he wants to make 1994 real, where he is in charge. Yeah, but the problem is that he's not an elite. He's not a smart person. He's not wealthy enough to be an elite. Yeah, does he have money? Sure. Does he make like a couple $1,000 every time he streams? Sure. But he's not on the level of the people that he thinks that he is. Nowhere near that.
Does. That's necessarily going to lead to conflict, which is necessarily going to lead to violent conflict.
No, it doesn't.
It
Not
does
necessarily.
Okay, show me where that doesn't happen.
We can debate and we can disagree, and we don't have to.
The violent conflict in the United States based on foundational beliefs is the number one reason it happens.
No, it doesn't.
What does that even mean?
Name one violent. Oh, yeah. You know what? January 6th, when your side couldn't handle losing an election and they lost their shit and stormed the Capitol. I wonder where the violence comes from. The maladjusted, knuckle-dragging cavemen like you, Andrew. And sprinkle in some alcoholism there, and you got the recipe for the exact thing you're arguing against, you dumbass.
Number one reason. Yeah.
We're back that up. We're based on what?
Have you ever heard of the Civil War?
No.
What? Oh, well, what was that all? What was that all about?
What kind of question?
Oh, for fuck's sake. This does not make your point in any case, Andrew. There you had people who settled at the same time, all Americans, and they had a difference of opinion, but it had to be a violent conflict because some people were holding on to other people as property.
Well, violent when debate and discussion break down is when you end up with violent conflict. So debate is crucial to avoiding it. It doesn't necessarily have to lead to violent conflict.
No.
It occasionally does, but
Lisa says, he keeps saying, my society, the delusion of grandeur is strong with him. Oh, yeah.
What was it about?
Huh?
What was the Civil War about?
Don't ask me silly questions.
It was about a distinction in foundational beliefs.
You're asking rhetorical questions.
Time.
All right.
Greetings, Andrew.
No, not this guy. Fuck that. I can't. That guy is the worst.
Who is it?
Some guy that just rambles on like incoherently.
Can we see like 10 seconds of it? I just am curious. You built it up for me. I want to see it just a little bit.
Oh my God, I hate you.
I'm so sorry. I just need to. You know what? I'm like the curious cat. I'm a curious cat.
I'll play it and I'll go to the toilet because this guy is just the freaking worst.
Fourth time, but yes. Rephrase the question, or
tell
repeat
you the question again.
Yes.
That having diversity of morality is generally speaking bad, right? Because it creates conflict.
Can it be good in where the conflict is necessary to resolve an issue that was pre-existing?
Like what?
Like, let's just say Christian ethics. Let's say a certain belief.
Well, if you have a conflict in morality, then you didn't share morality to begin with.
Well, but morality has to come from a fundamental foundation.
True.
Which is coming from
so
an
if it's
actual
shared,
domain.
So if it's shared and you're disagreeing about it, then it's not shared.
Well, it ought to be displayed through presentation because we're dealing with individuals, a group of individuals in this realm of domain, which is moral diversity, weakness, strength.
Let's say you have a religious nation.
Correct.
Okay. And you import, I don't know, 1 million atheists. Do you think that that's going to create problems with moral foundations?
Why wouldn't all the atheists be defeated by that moral standard and then they'll convert?
Because they don't believe it.
But what if the truth persuades them, at least have to be persuaded to be integrated to in that sort of.
Then you wouldn't have a problem with them because there wouldn't be a diverse morality anymore.
Correct. But what if that system of what nation they're going to was false or that claims to be true?
Yeah.
And then obviously you have conflict because now one side believes, hey, you're wrong because of this.
So
and
a difference in morality creates conflict.
Necessary or unnecessary? Does it matter? Would it matter?
I mean, it's just going to create conflict, period.
So how do we avoid that conflict?
Well, yeah, you can't mitigate conflict completely. But what you can do is you can mitigate most of it out. One good way to mitigate out conflict is by the elimination of diversity and morality.
So would you agree or disagree that diminishing is a reality, but the idea to end completely is a fallacy?
I don't think you could end conflict completely.
And
This one he's not rambling as hard as in the other ones, but oh boy, does he ramble. Hold on. Oh yes, sorry. We'll finish it up with this one guy, but Sumi sent me this. Give me just a second. I think it is a quite accurate depiction. This is what he wants. I love the what do you call these bottles? Because in Spanish they have a name, but I don't know
I don't know.
A flask.
the flask. Yes,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
flask. Yes. In Spanish we call them petacas.
Petacas.
Petacas, yeah.
You were right. I was so impressed by that last speaker. Like it was
Oh
really,
my,
really impressive. Like I, you know what? I was like,
he's
oh
the
my
worst.
gosh, I'm gonna have sweet dreams tonight. Just go to sleep.
Yeah, he's just the worst.
Did you even study to test that theory?
What?
To actually diminish to n, which is like the finish line, the whole point of beginning of.
It's logically possible.
Okay.
It would be logically possible that you could have a kumbaya world where there was no more conflict. I'm not saying that that's logically impossible. I'm saying I don't believe it's possible in reality.
Yeah, Andrew, because you can't even get along with other Christians. Like, how are you going to resolve the differences between your brand of Christianity and the others? Because even when you share some underlying traits, you still would kill each other and call each other heretics because they don't believe your particular brand of fantasy. So this is, even in their own paradigm, he has no way of winning this argument, like whatsoever. Because, for example, you would, if you got into an accident and you bled a lot, like Isa, for example, you would accept a blood transfusion. Jehovah's Witnesses would call you a fucking heretic because you're doing blood magic. And they don't even, like, Jehovah's Witnesses don't even celebrate their birthday. Right? So they will call you a heretic for celebrating your birthday, and they will call you an even bigger heretic and hypocrite because you're a fucking alcoholic.
I haven't celebrated my birthday since I'm 21, but no judgment if you do.
Why?
Why? No, because it's not an accomplishment for me. But that's no judgment if you want to celebrate your birthday.
What do you mean it's not an accomplishment? You survived another year in 2025. It's a big accomplishment.
Survival, yeah, all right. But if we want to celebrate that, that's good.
Right?
I made it.
Oh, that makes me kind of want to throw you like an actual birthday party so that you go back to enjoying your freaking birthday.
I know. Maybe I'm getting I'm an old man, Max. You have to remember that.
I'm 37 too, and my birthday is one of the happiest days of the year.
I'm 40.
I love it. It's like the only day you can go say hi to someone and say, "Hi, it's my birthday," and they will get happy for you.
True.
Oh my God! And
I'm happy for all people that on their birthday, and I'll say happy birthday. But I don't like to make a big deal out of my birthday. That's all I mean.
I've thrown some kick-ass parties for my birthday. Really kick-ass.
I would attend your birthday party happily.
Oh my God, that would be epic.
And it would be a great time.
And would there be evidence to live by that?
Evidence to demonstrate it?
Yes.
Yeah, or a historical standard.
Historical standards, let's just point to...
No, you can't appeal to any historical standard because the society that you want historically has failed. That's why we moved away from it, Andrew. You can't make a historical argument for Christianity whatsoever. Not at all. And if you can, it's not for your brand of Christianity. Your brand of Christianity, if you break it down, gives you modern day Russia, Andrew.
Christianity.
Okay.
Throughout the last 2,000 years,
Yeah.
from denominational schisms, that schisms keep occurring, seems like every 500-ish years, we got problems. And already from the Armenians divorcing from Roman Catholicism, the Great Schism 500-ish years later with Greek Orthodoxy with Roman Catholicism, then you actually have within Roman Catholicism the Protestants, or at least that form. And then obviously we're 500-ish years later, it looks like something else may occur. Either way, that's just a scene of a divorce, rebellion, something's wrong and it needs to be cross-corrected. Okay. Will it? It depends.
I doubt it.
You doubt it. Now, is that because of moral division?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's one division claiming that the rest of divisions are immoral.
Yeah.
So either we're going to continually live with this conflict or we're actually going to find a solution.
Well, the thing is like, if you're saying that it's necessary to have conflict to reconcile whatever this is, maybe that's the case. But if you want to mitigate conflict, if you don't want there to be conflict, then exiting these people from your people group.
This kid was really nice, IRL. Yes, but this is the only, like, the last time we did a review of this, when he came along, I was like, fuck no. Because he just rambles. Right now, he's doing better than I anticipated. But the first time that we reviewed, it was like completely incoherent, to the point that Andrew asked him, like, are you on medication? And I was like, maybe he has a point there.
In the first video, oh my God, every comment on the video was about him. It was so funny.
Right. In this case, Christians, right? Like, let's say
Christians are not a monolith, dumbass.
An Eastern Orthodox country probably wouldn't want to bring in
Russia. Move to Russia, Andrew. Do us all a favor. Just move to Russia and enjoy the society that you call my society. And just get the fuck out. You're the least American that I've ever seen.
Hundreds of thousands of Catholics, right? Because of this problem. Maybe they can have conflict in different ways, right? But bringing those people into their actual society is definitely going to cause conflict.
Correct. Now, is the conflict needed to resolve a problem that was prior that was not known before?
What was the problem prior? If the country's Orthodox, let's say, what's the problem?
Well, the problem would be if there's an underlying corruption that has taken place but was not known. But
yeah, how's that going to be solved by bringing in people who don't believe in their moral system?
Well, okay, how about this? Jonah going across, commanded by God, obviously disobeyed, but eventually he went to that land that was corrupt.
Okay.
Now that land that was corrupt knew it was corrupt and needed help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You see, he rambled a bit. Like, what does the story of Jonah have anything to do with the argument?
It would have been good to see where he was going with that, but unfortunately, time's up.
Lisa said, some American MAGA did move to Russia. The father quickly was thrown on the front lines of the war. Yeah, because that's what you get. These people think that it's so cool if they get their way. No, it won't. And the biggest hypocrisy is that if Andrew got his way, they would probably turn on him at some point for being a fucking raging alcoholic.
The thing is, I agree, Max. I think the problem with any kind of theocracy or anything like that is it turns. So talking from a South Asian background, you look at Pakistan. Pakistan's the perfect example of this. Pakistan stated that it was basically supposed to be this safe haven for Muslim South Asian people, right? Mm-hmm. What did it become? It became a hell for anybody who didn't fit the narrative of the government. That's literally what happened. And many, many people suffered because of it. And the ideal was like, oh, yeah, we want to have this space that's protective and caring for all the people, but it won't be. Because once you have a theocracy, you have danger. Because whoever's in the government gets to define the religion.
Yeah.
And religions come in different faces. I would say there are atheist religions. Like, I would say that Stalinism is an atheist religion where you worship Stalin. You worship these emperors. Like, when you go to North Korea, you're worshiping an emperor. It's a different kind of religion. It's not a religion focused on God, but there's like an emperor who worship people. I think the Donald Trump religion is a religion where people worship this man. They literally do. They worship this man, and he can do no wrong. He's always perfect, and he's almost like a god man, like from 300.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I think we have different kinds of religions, and it's funny when people are like, secular humanism is like atheist, and I'm like, not really. I think they worship these people. I think they worship Stalin. I think they worshiped Mao Zedong. They worship these figures, and that's why they obeyed whatever they said. When you have an equal society,
Isa, I'm gonna interject real quick. Sorry, but that by definition then means they're not atheists, right? Atheist is the absence of religion. So if you want to say worshiping Stalin is a type of religion, don't conflate that with atheism.
No. Atheist means there's lack of God. You can believe in fairies, you can believe in demons, you can believe in jinns, you can believe in everything. The only thing you can't believe in is God. So when I said a god man, I don't mean literally a god, but I'm talking about like this figure where you can worship all kinds of things, but the thing is you have to believe that there's a God, so.
Right. I still wouldn't conflate.
The best example is North Korea, where they actually believe that Kim Jong-un doesn't poop.
Exactly. So it's the thing is, it's like you don't have to have a god to have a religion. So that's my take.
Yeah. Yeah. I would just say like atheism is just lack of belief in God.
That's it. That's all atheism is.
Right.
And that's the funny thing. The interesting thing is there's all these different variants. So like you have someone like Angelina Jolie, who is an atheist, but I think she believes in fairies. She believes in these other kinds of beings, supernatural beings, and you can do that as an atheist.
Would you consider North Koreans who believe Kim Jong is a god or more than just human? Would you believe they're atheists or not?
They can be if they don't believe that there's like they would have to believe that Kim Jong is like the ultimate god. Like then we'd have to define what a god is, like that he's a creator or whatever. Like if we define a god as being like that's beyond time, beyond space, if that's what our definition of a god is, and that's usually the definition people take, like I would say they think of Kim Jong sort of like that being from Star Trek 5 that was in the cave. Like he's kind of like, it's like a superhuman being. It's like a demigod in a sense,
Yeah.
That's what I think. I don't think they think that he's like literally the creator of the universe. I don't think they take that position, but
sure.
Yeah, like a Hercules, these kind of things. So, but like that's my point. Like it's so funny. Like these are religions too. We have a lot of like Heaven's Gate. We have a lot of weird religions that are out there.
Are there any atheist flirts? There must be.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are.
Yeah.
Dumb as hell.
They probably believe in like Illuminati. They probably believe in all the conspiracy, but they just don't think that there's God. But they believe in the conspiracy,
But that's a fair question because I think a lot of flat earthers are, on average.
Yeah, I only know of one. He goes by Flat Earth Atheist here on YouTube, and you will see him. If you go back to the golden age of Flat Earth debates, you will see him derping out in the chats.
And the debunkers on YouTube that debunk Flat Earth, overwhelmingly atheists. But not exclusively.
Not exclusively, yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, that's Andrew is live right now.
I wonder if he's reviewing the last video.
No, he's watching Antifa like he's watching manifestation. I'll show you. I'll put it on and I'll take it off quickly because I don't want to.
Yeah, MC Toon is Christian. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, but he's in the minority. But that's true.
Let me mute it. This is what he's watching right now. And he's mad about this because like these are Antifa manifestations, which is not even an organization, but he drank all the Kool-Aid from Supreme Leader Supreme Leader Trump.
Oh,
there's a lady there with a Mexican flag. Ooh, it's like, how dare you?
Flat Earth Dave is an atheist? Is that true? I thought he was religious.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
He's an atheist? He outwardly? Yeah.
Yeah, well, he is Jew by heritage, but he's always talking about the creator and so on, but I don't believe a word he says.
Oh, well, he's also a grifter. So let's keep that in mind.
Massive grifter.
He knows the earth is not flat. So
he knows the earth is not flat, yes.
I think a lot of these people are. I don't think a lot of people believe in that. Like,
no.
I think a lot of the people, it's like you make money, you have fame when you take these very controversial positions. Like, my best one is Ross. Like, he's my favorite. He clearly even states that he doesn't believe in this stuff. He's like, yeah, I'm just doing this for my channel, getting some hits for my channel.
Yeah.
He said, I love one of the videos I uploaded on my channel was Max filling out the grifter tier list. And it was just flat earthers. Max just went, you're a grifter, you're a grifter. You're like very few.
They all are.
Yeah, with very few exceptions.
Yeah, the ones that are just dumb enough to actually believe that the earth is flat.
Like Chris,
those are the two categories. Like Cece, for example. Cece is he's just dumb enough to have fallen for the lie, right? And he's not smart enough to determine that he's wrong. And of course, Cece doesn't watch any of the debunkers. He just derps out. So Cece, not a grifter. Flatzoid, and all of the big ones, they all know they're full of shit. But because they're flat Earth, they are the cool guys in their little microcosm. So that's why they continue at it. They have no incentive. And now that the flat Earth is drying up, they're all jumping on the bandwagon of every other conspiracy that's around.
That's why I had the S tier and then the A tier. I had the A tier as people who maybe believed it at one time and fell for it, but now just continue to grift, even though they figured out it's not flat after all, and they were wrong. They just can't admit it. I put a lot of people in that category too.
Fair enough, yeah. But then, for example, Flatzoid today, he was doing a hit piece on the rising earthers that say that the gravity is just the Earth rising at 9.8 meters per second squared. That is fake. But the flat Earth, that is totally legit, guys. Yeah, it's I don't get it. We don't really like dishonesty here that much. And a lot of them just seem to be grifting. Real Cygnus yanking my chain says, flat Earth drying up, it's growing faster than ever. No, it's not. Right, Chris, final thoughts. It wasn't that bad as you think. I think you did well today.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it wasn't as bad as I maybe anticipated, but there's still so much room for improvement. So thanks for the feedback. Thanks, Isa. Thanks, chat.
But you don't regularly debate. So for someone that doesn't regularly debate, you held your own pretty well.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm not a debater. I try and work on my interview skills, if anything. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's still one more video to come against Rachel. It just came out on Modern Day Debates channel today.
You mispronounce La Raquel.
Oh, La Raquel. Yeah.
Raquel.
Raquel.
Yes.
So
she would fucking hate that.
I don't know. She would.
She would hate that.
But I appreciate everyone showing up and chatting with us. And yeah, thanks, Max. Thanks, Pizza.
Thank you so much. Subscribe to Chris. You can probably click his channel from the title, and I'll make sure that it is on the description. He has a new video coming out that features me, so you get to see my beautiful face again.
I have a series of videos, guys and gals, that it's my wife, my sister-in-law, and one of our friends, who and I show pictures of flat earthers or a debunker, and I let the girls debate whether they think, just on the looks of the person, if they're a flat earther or a debunker. And this is episode 3 of this series coming out, and Max is going to be one of the people the girls are going to debate about based on his looks. So we'll see if they
this face screams debunker, right?
We'll see. We'll
just
see.
say
I'm
it
not
is
going to
so.
spoil it.
And also, is your sister-in-law, is she hot?
My sister-in-law, she looks a lot like my wife, so I'm going to say she's very pretty.
Nice.
Yeah.
How open is she to divorcing her husband and improving, upgrading?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, but go ahead.
No. I was NetTube user. Thanks for joining us. And yeah, guys, check out my upcoming video with Max. It's not live on my channel yet, but it's coming soon.
It's coming any day now, like the Rapture. Any day now.
Any day now.
Hi, Robin. Hello.
I have to say hey to
Isa,
Robin too. I'm gonna respond to her on Discord. Sorry, I've been really busy. I'm gonna
final thought.
I just want to thank all my viewers. I have some viewers who are watching me too. They know who they are. So let's see. I felt the debate was, these debates were kind of interesting. They were just very different. It's hard to do a lot in 5 minutes. I think I really liked what you did. You are mobbed in the beginning, where you really asked the questions. It was interesting to hear that he doesn't believe in evolution. I thought that was a fascinating thing, and I don't think we would have known that. We didn't hear that clearly stated out. So from that debate, we learned a little bit about Andrew Wilson's beliefs. So that was interesting. I think it is tough in the moment to design a plan, especially when you're being told what you're supposed to do. I think that is not a good thing that modern day debates does. I don't like how they keep trying to push how debaters should debate instead of just allowing, because you think that it's like a free speech platform, but this happened to me too. And I really did not like it. I did not like being told that I have to create conflict, and can we just have a natural conversation and allow for a natural conversation and see where we go? If we agree on certain points, cool, then we can move to something else. But it's like, I don't think we should just fabricate conflict for the sake of conflict.
I don't want to oversell that point though. It wasn't that explicit. It was just kind of like, hey guys, maybe we could be a little bit more assertive and disagreeable. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't that explicit that we have to like just take the opposing opinion. It was subtle. It was more subtle.
I hear you, and I also think that is kind of the agenda, because I'm just saying I experienced that too, and I feel that like having healthy dialogue doesn't need to be based in conflict. I think having a really good debate doesn't mean you're just like, well, I disagree. We can explore different ideas, see where we agree, and then look at what we disagree. Allow for a natural conversation. I don't think, fabricating conflict creates the best conversations. You can get interesting conversations, but I don't think it necessarily has to. I think exploring different ideas and seeing what is the disagreements. I think if I was in that conversation, I'd be like, okay, what I would ask is, I'm like, what is an ideal society for you? What is diversity of opinion? These are the things that I would be interested in exploring. And what does it mean to be diverse in opinion? Because I'm like, do you believe that? And then I would explore further. And if he would say, well, I think Orthodox Christianity should be what runs America. And I'm like, okay, it's interesting. So what happens with other Christian groups? What happens if you are Protestant? What happens if you are Catholic? What happens if you're like Christian Science, Temple, or a New Ager Christian? How do you engage these spaces? Are they welcome? Are they diversity of opinion? What is the criterion of diversity of opinion? Okay, then let's just say we have Orthodox Christianity. Well, what happens if someone's an Orthodox Christian Zionist, or if there's an Orthodox Christian anti-Zionist? Is there diversity of moral, ethical opinions? These things, when you try to define one way of thinking, you're going to find more and more diversity. This is my opinion. I think the Nazi Party would have failed no matter what, because they would have cannibalized themselves. They would have had so much internal cannibalization where they're like, well, you're not the pure Aryan because you've got brown hair, or you have black hair, so you're mixed with some deviant race, so you're not actually the true German. I promise you that's what would have happened to this movement. It could never survive. When you're a system that's based on, the true race and perfection, it's going to fail. It's going to fail.
Yeah, because no one can live up to those incredibly high standards. Like, the moment the majority of the quote unquote Aryans would have noticed, like, hey, the guy that's preaching that we're the superior race is a stocky, short, black-haired man that is fucking Austrian. I mean, we should take him out. That's what inevitably happens with something that is built into intolerance. And there's this poem that always talks about, when they came for the Jews, I didn't speak because I wasn't a Jew. When they came for this, I didn't speak because I wasn't that. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. And that is what happens when you have that kind of regime. And the fact that, I mean, Andrew and his wife, they're both dumb as a bag of rocks. I mean, she thinks that feminism was a movement based on witchcraft, and that it eroded the fabric of society. Like, what do you say to someone like that who is completely disconnected from reality? I don't really know. You just have to let everyone know that, like what Chris did, that, yeah, this moron wants to claim moral superiority. He can't even face a brute scientific fact, right? It's like, oh, yeah, he loves the science. He will claim that he likes science and so on, but he doesn't, because he cherry picks. Whodunit says, we're watching it happen in real time right now. Yeah. The division over the Epstein files, that is rough, because everyone is calling for that to be released, but they can't, because a lot of powerful people are there.
Yeah.
Oh, just ask this guy, and sends the fascist smile emoji. Robin says he also can't open olive jars. Oh yeah, that was so much fun.
Dude,
the alpha male, yeah. The alpha male. Go ahead.
Sorry, Max. Should I bring an olive jar? Do you dare me to bring an olive jar if I interview him at DebateCon 6? Should I have one of my?
Definitely.
I'm gonna have it.
And no, you need to take two. One that you can open, and then one to give him.
I was thinking about it. We'll see what happens.
He hates when people bring that up. All righty. I don't think I have more thoughts. I think I spoke my piece. I can't wait until I get my hands on this clown. Like, seriously. Peeps, with that lovely Sunday stream as usual. I love streaming Sunday night. I don't know why. Probably because there's no one else, and Sundays are a bit of a downer because tomorrow work starts and so on. But I do kind of love the Sunday night stream. What do we have to coming up? Hold on. I think there's a debate tomorrow. Oh my God, yeah, there's rim job, Christianity or secular humanism, rim job versus someone who has a cartoon as a picture. So guess we'll see. Whodunit shares our Discord. We have a Discord, so join the Materos and Materas community. And it's bare bones right now, but we're working on it. We'll improve it, and I have some ideas. We can do a movie night where we watch some of the movies that Isa recommends, and there's a lot to do on our Discord, because the community keeps growing. We're very close to 900 subs, and then it's just 100 more towards the 1,000. So we're doing awesome. So happy. Before we go, make sure to the social thing is like, share, subscribe, send this to a friend, send this to your significant other, go to the corner, yes, the corner of your street, and you'll subscribe to Your Mom and Yerba Mate Talks. And that way we can share the love for the channel. Isa says, Robin says, I miss you, Isa. Robin, we miss you too. I hope you're doing well. And if you need anything, let us know, peeps. We'll catch you tomorrow for that debate that I'm probably sure it will be absolutely horrible. So take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Bye-bye.